Hi, welcome to the Midnite Snak podcast. I'm Austin. This is Brandon. Behind the mic, there's Justin. It's a bunch of fun here. So Brandon is kind of a functioning, mute maybe? I don't know right now. He's kind of brain dead at the moment. So what our plan was tonight was to kind of do...
I'm going to suck his dick while he gives you, the goods, Right?
Sounds like a plan to
Did
me.
I already throw you a curveball and you're like...
No, I was just looking at the camera like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's a good time right there. We're going to do some, quizzes. This is all Justin's idea, so if this goes to shit...
Blame him.
Blame him. He's our scapegoat.
Because that helps us out,
Oh, yeah.
if it's like... you want everyone to contribute equally. Make sure that the one, once he contributes, make sure he hates it. That sounds like every business ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you enjoy your work? Oh, you're not gonna in a couple weeks. Like basically Domino's right now. Holy shit. Anyway.
Basically any job
Well,
ever.
that's because of the road construction, right?
No, that's no.
Just in general.
Someone told me that. They were
Work his ass, bro.
because of that.
All right, let's get to it. So, what is this one? What's your sense of humor?
Are we doing this independently?
So, probably one at a time, yeah.
So, Austin, if you want to go first,
right.
I'll read it out for you.
Go in.
I usually don't laugh or joke around much with other people.
Yeah, you can answer that one for me. Let's see.
I'm chewing shit. One's alright. If I am feeling depressed, I can usually cheer myself up with humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I love how he's just answering this for me because he knows me so well.
If someone makes a mistake, I will often tease them about it.
Yeah.
Or,
You have a little bit of your daddy in you.
I'd probably go like in the middle.
why do you gotta say daddy?
Daddy,
That's the
yeah.
only correct way to say
Yeah.
my father is daddy.
Yeah, in between 3 or 4. So like you could go 3 or 4, either one.
I could
Honestly.
throw my dad a curveball and just be like, "Hi, daddy." I wouldn't ever do that.
It would make more sense if you were his daughter.
It was like that meme. It was like that meme where the guy, as he's reaching down in the car, he's like, "Daddy, daddy." The guy freaks out like, "You better not do that again." And he's,
Yeah, I saw
"Daddy."
that. Yep.
It's been living in my head for like the last 2 days.
I let
I thought you were about to
people
say 2 years.
laugh at me or make fun at my expense more than I should. Strongly agree.
Yeah, you basically make yourself the butt of the joke.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah. I thought
My dad's dead. Aw,
Yeah.
poor you.
Open game.
I don't
Fair
have
game.
to work very hard at making other people laugh. I seem to be a naturally humorous
Strongly
person.
disagree.
I'd probably say like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to work for it.
Well, and sometimes people just don't understand your
Yeah,
humor. So
that's
it's like,
the worst.
Sometimes people are assholes.
Yeah.
you can make people laugh by making them uncomfortable too. So it's not like
by myself. I often.
I'm often. What the hell was
Yeah.
that?
that's the sliding door.
Yeah.
I thought that was the damn toilet.
Exploding.
Yeah.
The ceiling just caved in because we're right below it.
We just continue on as if nothing's
Like
Just
happened.
shit pouring down from the ceiling. It's just a normal.
So
fucking
even when I'm
Sunday
by
for us.
myself, I'm often amused by the absurdities of life. No.
Yeah.
Wait, no, because absurdity would mean like the dumb things of life. You're like, haha, that's funny. Like, a child dies.
I mean, it is kind of funny. I mean, it's not.
Should I put neutral?
But it's not, okay, that's not the absurdity of life. It's typically little things of life that just get to people.
I think everything's funny.
I think
no
my
matter
allergies
what it is.
are real bad. I don't know what it is, but I've been sneezing like a bitch today.
People
I've
are
been
never
like
offended
2 to 3.
or hurt by my
maybe.
sense of humor. I would say
Strongly
Usually when you
disagree.
use your sense of, oh yeah,
yeah, it would
Disagree.
be on the other side.
yeah. But most time you use your humor is around people that you know wouldn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I
would
use
still,
it wisely.
I wouldn't say strongly disagree.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would. Justin, you might be right.
Yeah.
I mean, I always choose it particularly like who I'm around.
You're not gonna do it around your mom.
Like I wouldn't do it. Let's say like
Although
I had
you
a girlfriend and she got offended at some
So it'd
things
be
that a normal
strong-
person would. I wouldn't do that around
So
her.
you would
But
say
when-
strongly agree then, because that if you strongly agree, then you agree with the fact that people are never offended or hurt by your sense of humor. If you disagree, then you understand that people are often offended by your sense of humor.
Oh, people are never. Oh yeah.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what- See, this is how
It's
I
how they
test
word
in
it.
School.
It's how they word it. It makes it confusing.
A lawyer made this quiz. I can tell you that much, because almost every law, like whenever you're, in the ballot, whenever you get one of those laws and how it reads, it's like, do you accept or reject? It's like sometimes how it leads into do you accept or reject? It sounds like you're doing the opposite of what you're doing,
Okay.
and I hate it so much.
He's looking up.
I'm sidetracking. 1 second. It's a freelance science journalist. Okay. Journalist.
okay.
Are you sure that that's the same person?
Yeah.
Well, here, let me.
I am a woman.
Oh shit.
That's a different one.
There's-
There you go.
Well, problem is good. That's why I didn't click on that.
Most recent articles? Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. Now we might have fucked up though.
I'm kidding. I don't know if it's.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
Justin!
You're gonna
What
have
the
to remember.
fuck?
I can usually treat myself with humor. If someone makes a mistake, I will often tease them about it.
Yeah, I was like neutral.
Yeah. I let people laugh at me or make fun of me.
Of course,
Yeah.
strongly agree there.
I don't have to work very hard at making
Said
other people
I said
Four, right?
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta
Even
work.
when I'm, if I feel like I'm doing, I'm reading.
Was this
It
one a
was
4
strong.
too?
I think it was strongly agree.
Okay, so 5 on that one. 5 on 6.
Yeah.
People are never
5
good.
on 7.
Oh yeah.
And then here we were. I
Yeah,
will often
okay.
get carried away in putting myself down if it makes my family or friends laugh.
Yo.
Hell yeah.
I felt like
Strongly
I was in a
agree.
game show, like I was a game show host.
Yeah.
Reading those questions to you.
Yeah.
I rarely make other people laugh by telling funny stories about myself.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
That's disagree.
I agree
Yeah.
with that one for me, but for you, probably not.
Well, because
Because your life's just a fucking joke.
Yeah, it is. It's a fuck show. Like it's a fuck fest. So it's pretty funny. Like you have to admit like how horrible it is. Like there's a humor out of that. Like it is.
There's obviously a God, and he
could
just
literally
has it out
say-
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm just his toilet basically. Like he's
God's like, I need to write a comedy. What's the best way of doing that? I'm gonna ensure that this bitch down here is never gonna have a good day.
basically.
Well, you could say any joke with having one ball as well.
Yeah.
True.
So easy.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling upset or unhappy, I usually try to think of something funny about the situation to make myself feel better.
No, I'd put like neutral.
Okay. When telling jokes or saying funny things, I am usually not very concerned about how other people are taking it.
I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
So strongly agree, bitch.
Yeah. I don't really care if you're
These
offended.
are
You're
some
offended.
deep ass questions.
No one ever got an award by being offended, and if they did, no one acknowledges that that award means shit.
Yep.
So
I often try to make people like or accept me more by saying something funny about my own weakness.
No,
Blunders or
that's just me naturally.
I do that sometimes.
I don't purposely ever just like.
I laugh and joke a lot. Well, duh.
Oh yeah.
My
No, very
my-
serious person.
That's why we're doing this
My
podcast. We're
hum-
serious. My humorous outlook on life keeps me from getting overly upset or depressed about things. Jeez.
I mean, yeah.
4?
You're not doing a good job, though.
I mean, yeah, I'd say about 4.
If you cry at night still, it's not
don't-
working.
I don't cry at
I
night.
know.
I wish I did.
I try to cry, but it's dry.
Yeah. Basically,
I have no soul. I'm a ginger. I can't cry.
you like it when people use humor as a way of.
Criticizing
Oh,
putting someone
hell
down.
yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
I don't like it at all.
Really?
No.
Using
Wait, you
humor?
like it?
Using humor?
You like it when people use humor as a way of
If they're
criticizing or putting
criticizing
someone down.
me,
Well, no, it's
putting
just
me down.
this is just saying.
Oh, like anyone?
The phrase is, I do not like it when people use humor as a way of criticizing or putting someone down.
I would say like a 2 because there are those times where the person deserves it and it's like, oh,
yeah,
that was good.
I take this as the person was innocent in it,
okay.
You know?
Then, yeah, if you look at it that way.
So, yeah, I would say just go with 2.
Just go with 2 because it's kind of leaving room for what you think.
I don't often say funny things to put myself down.
Strongly disagree on that one.
I usually don't like to tell jokes or amuse people.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Strongly disagree.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If I'm by myself and I'm feeling unhappy, I make an effort to think of something funny to cheer myself up.
No, my brain just kind of flatlines, to be honest. Basically.
For a second, I thought this was the halfway mark right here. Like, shit, we got 60 questions. But we're
32? Okay, that's typical.
Yeah.
Because with any statistical data, you need at least 30 data points.
This one right here has 100. Oh, wait,
holy shit.
Oh,
yeah, we ain't doing that one. Never
my God. I've taken that one before.
This one's a short one, though. This one's a short one.
Okay.
Yeah, you answer the first question. We already know what you are. It clicks it right down to the bottom. Here's your results.
Oh, actually, no.
Did you vote for Donald Trump? Yes, you're fascist. Fascist. I can't even say that word.
Fascist.
Because there's fascistic and fascist, and if you start with one and try to end with the other, it just sounds like.
Sometimes I think of something that is so funny that I can't stop myself from saying it, even if it's not appropriate for the situation.
All the time.
That's Justin.
Yeah, that is me.
Yep.
I get myself in trouble.
I still need to tell him that joke.
Yeah, just do it later. I'm not going to laugh at it now. I'm too tired.
Oh, I don't know, man. You know the joke I said?
I'm driving on a motorcycle. I'm too tired.
About Father's Day?
What about Father's Day?
You're excited about Father's Day because it's a daily reminder of just how much you've lost. That's not even a joke, but it's still funny when I say it.
No, the one I told you when I stayed here like super late and you and me were just talking upstairs.
Talking.
Do you remember?
They were talking.
Bro, I made you die laughing.
Yeah,
there's a lot of noise, but it wasn't talking.
That's you just... Yeah.
No, I'm bleeding out my ass.
I don't remember shit anymore.
Dude.
Like, if it's a week past, it's gone.
It's not even...
I remember how I felt. I remember my feelings, but I don't remember.
Okay.
It's a blessing, trust me. It's a blessing. When you remember everything, it's the worst.
I often go overboard, putting myself down when I'm making a joke or trying to be funny.
I have to go.
Yes.
Putting yourself down?
Yeah.
He goes overboard and putting himself down.
Oh, I understand. I thought
because everyone around him's like,
dude,
you should probably stop hitting yourself,
kind of
thing.
Nah.
You're like bleeding out. You're like, no. I like the pain.
Yeah.
Makes me feel
If I'm
alive.
feeling sad or upset, I usually lose my sense of humor.
No. It becomes
That's the
tenfold.
opposite.
Yeah.
That's every comedian.
Yeah.
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 That's
true.
Really?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They draw from a dark place. Some of the most depressed people on planet Earth are stand-up comics.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah.
So whenever someone doesn't laugh at their jokes, they feel even ultra.
Well, it's not that. The reason it's probably that way is because they always had a fucked up background, which is the source of their humor, because they use it as a defense mechanism, and making other people laugh made them happy. However, that's a very shallow way of making yourself be happy. So, and they're high in creativity, and they're also high in, I think, agreeableness, which basically means that if someone comes up to you and asks you to do something, your ability to tell them no is dramatically lower than someone who has high disagreeableness. So they're charismatic, but they're messed up for the most part.
I never participate in laughing at others, even if all my friends are doing it.
Oh, that's strongly disagree for you, right? You would laugh at me if I ate shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
When I am with friends or family, I often seem to be the one that other people make fun of or joke about.
Yeah.
It's because you don't give a shit.
Well, not
Yeah,
anymore.
I just don't give a
You
shit.
say not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. You walk into a room and it's like,
Well,
what do I say?
there's
What's
a
okay?
mixture. There's a mixture of it because my friends that know me really well, they either go too much and I'm like, everyone else is like uncomfortable.
That's me.
Yeah, it's great. But like, I'll join in and push it a step farther, and everyone's just like,
I would love when everything opens up back again. And like, let's say we're at McDonald's like we used to do.
yeah.
I just go for a drink, and when I'm halfway through, be like, "Yeah, that's because your dad's dead," and just do that in the middle of McDonald's, and just see the atmosphere change. That'd be so funny, because you'd be dying laughing because you're looking around and everyone's like, "What the fuck is going on?" That'd be great. I want to do that just in random places. Just
We could do TikTok.
do it in church.
We
should go to-
a bunch of different places.
You should go to Applebee's.
There's
Do
not
that.
that many people there though when we go. So
Okay, but we can go during like dinner time
yeah.
and just
See-
get up to use the restroom. That's because your dad's dead.
Yeah. And then just walk off, and everyone's like, "What?"
That would be so confusing.
See, I would start with the McDonald's because at least there, your tendency to
Oh,
get
yeah.
kicked out is low. So you start with somewhere like that, and then you work your
That's
way
true.
up from Applebee's, and you go to a really fine dining restaurant, and then just
Go places that you don't normally go to, so you can go back to places that you like.
true.
I don't often joke around my.
What the
Wait,
fuck?
that's the same question. Okay, I know why they ask these questions to ensure that you're
You're
answering honestly.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, they're pretty deep questions. I
It
think they'd be
is.
deep. It is my experience that thinking about some amusing aspect of a situation is often a very effective way of coping with problems.
It is my experience that thinking about some amusing aspect of a situation, like the story in
I'm
your
kind of
mind,
confused
is
on
often
the question that they're asking.
So basically,
It's such a big
do
question.
you cope with your problems by looking at something that was funny in a situation, even if it wasn't at the time?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
funny now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Everything's funny.
And it makes you kind of feel a
Yeah.
little bit better.
Yeah.
If I
even
don't
if
like
I-
someone, I often use humor or teasing to put them down.
Mm,
I feel like that's
no.
the opposite with me.
Yeah.
If I don't
Yeah.
like someone, I'm not.
Yeah, you
I-
don't talk to them.
Okay.
No.
It also depends, though.
Okay,
Depends
I
on
did
how
with
much
that
it pisses
Karen
you
when
off.
I said Ghostbusters. So, but that wasn't teasing her. I didn't go, "You goofy ass looking bitch."
But if you said that, both Ashley and him would have been cracking.
Oh, yeah. We would have. We
We'd
would
be
have
like,
laughed.
Brendan!
It's just ask her. So, whose dick did you suck to give you the authority to tell us what to do? Because I want to see where he's at, so I can suck his dick, so I can completely revoke your status. Fuck you! Oh, I just live down there. Oh, thanks. Thanks for letting me
She'd
know.
call you sexist right after saying that.
Saying that I'd suck her husband's dick.
Yeah, I don't. You never know with Karens.
Oh my
That
god.
is true.
We had one today at
Oh.
work. Yeah, it was
Oh,
great.
still-
I didn't handle the situation. I think it was Philip. He handled the situation, and she was upset that we didn't deliver to her address, and she wanted to talk with someone who could change it.
Change your address?
No. Change our delivery area. And I was like,
Just because.
don't walk into a Domino's store thinking that the one that works on the delivery area works there. It's like that's not in our control, bitch.
Yeah, people are pretty naive whenever they.
She's like, "Oh, I'm on 70th." It's like, need a little bit more information than that. It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, it's when it turns into the road." I'm like, "What road?" And I'm just listening. I'm not saying anything. I'm just listening. And eventually it says
crazy.
when it starts to wind, I'm like, "Yeah, no, you're too far south then. You're out of our area." And I so badly wanted to come on and tap on Philip's shoulder. I got this. We don't deliver there. There's no one here that can change it. Stop trying. Here's your food.
If I'm having a problem or feeling unhappy.
I often cover it up by joking around so that even my closest friends.
Do you need us to
don't
leave
know
the
how
room?
I feel.
Everyone always knows how I really feel because of the way I'm joking. Most of the
Is
time.
that
That's
true?
not that no.
Because I'll do it
my
sometimes
joking is
because I don't want other
always the
people to
same.
be like, "Oh, he's always sad," kind of
Well,
thing.
my
So I'm
my
trying to
joking
protect
is
that.
always the same, even if I'm.
Maybe just do disagree on that one. Because I think we're similar in this field. Like, we'll cover up some, like, real
Yeah,
shit that we don't want to
will.
handle with
Yeah.
other people, so we'll hide it with
But at
joking.
the same time,
You-
I'm
you-
the
you-
same way.
You talk about it. Like, you talk about it in the
Yeah.
joke, but you're not actually fully giving them the full story. You're just
Right.
kind of like, oh, if you're right here, you're good. I'll deal with my shit here. I'm not going to tell you the full shit, but I'll
Yeah.
let you know a little bit about what's going
Yeah,
on. So,
but put it in a joke so it's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'd say disagree, because you're still hiding something.
It's not really that I'm hiding it. It's just that it makes me feel uncomfy.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's not that it makes me feel awkward because I will tell somebody, but it's like, in this moment, I do not really want to talk about it. I will, but it will bring the whole entire group down.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'll get down to your level. Fuck it. Suicide pact. Woo!
Hell yeah, dude.
I usually can't think of witty things to say when I'm with other people. I'm a strongly disagree person there. I'm pretty
Yeah.
witty myself.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I can't, though.
What?
I mean, with that Karen I did, but other times I'm like,
Can't.
I can't
thought
think
you
of
said
anything.
Can't. It's like sometimes I
No,
can't.
can't.
Yeah,
I can't
I
hear.
disagree because when, yeah.
And there's also times where you're on a roll and you get going and you stutter that one time. You're like, shit.
Yeah, and you fuck it all up.
Yeah, it's like, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Story of my life. I don't need to be with other people to feel amused. I can usually find things to laugh about even when I'm by myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm strongly disagree myself.
Yeah.
Agree.
Strongly.
Did I say disagree?
Yeah, you
I
did.
haven't said
Strongly
agree.
agree. Yeah, because dude, like, I'll be sitting in a group and I won't even be talking to anybody and I'll just start laughing because some fucked up shit popped into my head. I'm just like,
I wonder what the
That's funny.
types of humor that's going to be on here, because you
I
only
don't
got
know.
2 more questions. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
There is a reason why I'm single.
yeah.
Even if something is really funny to me, I will not laugh or joke about it if someone will be offended. Hell no.
No.
Strongly disagree
Yeah.
for you on that one.
Yeah.
Letting others laugh at me is my way of keeping my friends and family in good spirits.
Yeah.
Okay. So agree or strongly agree?
Strongly agree.
Okay. See your results. You hit the see your results button. Scroll up.
Yep.
Scroll down. There you go.
This is such a
Scroll up. Scroll
Your
down.
Results. You haven't.
Affiliative sense of humor. Everyone's sense of humor is a mix of 4 styles, but yours leans more heavily toward affiliative, meaning you're good at cracking jokes and trading banter to build connections with other people. You have a mostly self-enhancing sense of humor. Everyone's sense of humor is a mix of 4 styles, but yours leans most heavily toward self-enhancing, meaning that you know how to laugh at yourself in a way that makes you feel better, but not worse, and find the humor in any situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's do it for me. You're not funny. You have no sense of humor. Kill yourself.
Boom.
All right, I'll try to do this as fast as I can. You usually don't laugh or joke around much with other people. Depends on the person. I would say 2. If I'm feeling depressed, I can usually cheer myself up with humor. 4. If someone makes a mistake, I will often tease them about it. 1. Well, 2.
It depends on
2.
that mistake.
I let people laugh at me or make fun. I let people laugh at me or make fun at my expense more than I should. Neutral. 3. I don't have to work very hard to make other people laugh. I seem to be a naturally humorous person. I don't know. Where did you put it, Justin?
I'll probably put it about 4.
Thank you. That helps me. Thanks, Justin. Even when I'm by myself, I'm often amused by the absurdities of life. 4. People are never offended or hurt by my sense of humor. It depends on who I'm around, so I'd probably actually say 4. Because I cater it to who I'm around.
Yeah. I do
On
this,
purpose, because
yeah.
I don't want to deal with someone walking up to me. That really hurt. I'm offended. It's like,
I
okay,
always
now
ask
you
people-
ruined the
yeah.
the mood. So I try my best to not let that
I always
happen.
ask somebody too, like, what do you get offended about? Is there things that you get offended about? And
I
if so,
love
what
the-
are they?
I love the people who say nothing, then you say the darkest shit, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that hurt." It's like,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
said nothing, bitch.
Gave me a green light,
Yeah.
and now
then
you're telling me you're
now
getting a fucking offended.
It's like the rape laws now. It's like a girl's like, "Oh yeah, you can do anything to me. You do anything." The next day she's like, "He raped me."
I need a rape kit.
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Okay, that never happened to me because I'm married. But to
almost
you,
need to videotape the consent nowadays.
yeah,
You think I sleep with people?
not even yourself anymore. Anyway, 8, getting me sidetracked. I will often get carried away in putting myself down if it makes my family or friends laugh.
Probably neutral.
Neutral, yeah. I rarely make other people laugh by telling funny stories about myself.
I'd say about neutral 4.
Yeah, I'd say 4.
You don't go to the extreme that I do.
If I'm feeling upset or unhappy, I usually try to think of something funny about the situation and make myself feel better. 2. When telling jokes or saying funny things, I'm usually not very. I'm tired. Hold on.
Oh, I am too.
Give me a second. When telling jokes or saying funny things, I am usually not very concerned about how other people are taking it.
You're more cautious about
Yeah,
that
I
than
am. So I'd say
am.
disagree.
Strongly or
No, just disagree.
Okay.
I often try to make people like or accept me more by saying something funny about my own weakness, blunders, or faults. I'm neutral on that. It could go either way with me. It depends on the person. I laugh and joke a lot. Oh, it's like, what's going on? I laugh and joke a lot with my friends. 5.
Yeah.
If they're my friends,
Yeah.
My humorous outlook on life keeps me from getting overly upset or depressed about things. 3. I was about to say 2. I do not like it when people use humor as a way of criticizing or put someone down. Strongly agree. I don't often say funny things to put myself down. Disagree. Strongly disagree. I usually don't like to tell jokes or amuse people. Strongly disagree. If I'm by myself and I'm feeling unhappy, I make an effort to think of something funny to cheer myself up. Neutral. Sometimes I think of something that is so funny that I cannot stop myself from saying it, even if it is not appropriate for the situation. I'd say agree. Because there's sometimes I hold myself back. Like,
sometimes I don't.
I know of a few situations where I've held myself back because I'm like, I often go overboard in putting myself down when I'm making jokes or trying to be funny. Neutral. I enjoy making people laugh. Hell yeah. If I'm feeling sad or upset, I usually lose my sense of humor. 2. Yeah. Well, I would say 4 actually.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're not in the mood, I guess.
Yeah. I never participate in laughing at others, even if never. I would say 2. Because my sense of humor is not as dark. When I am with friends or family, I often seem to be the one that other people make fun or joke about. I'd say disagree.
Yeah.
I don't often joke around with my friends. Strongly disagree. It is my experience that thinking about some amusing aspect of a situation is often a very effective way of strongly disagree, I think. If I don't like someone, I often use humor. Strongly disagree. If I'm having problems or feeling unhappy, I often cover it up by joking around, so that even my closest friends don't know how I really feel. Neutral. It depends on the person. I usually can't think of witty things to say when I'm with other people. I would disagree with that one. There's sometimes I can't, but most of the time, though. So I guess strongly disagree would actually work better in that. I don't need to be with other people to feel amused. I can usually find things to like. Strongly agree. Dude, I talk to myself and I shit on myself so much.
Yep.
Even if something is really funny to me, I will not laugh or joke about it if someone will be offended. Strongly disagree. If it's funny, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Letting others laugh at me is my way of keeping my friends and family in good spirits. 4. See my results. Oh, well, I just have the affiliative part. Which means that I'm good at cracking jokes or trading banter to build connections with other people. It's probably true. Yeah.
Boom.
Although I have a lot of deprecating humor. I don't give a shit who you are. If you're around me and we're good friends, I'm gonna tease you so fucking hard. I'm gonna be poking buttons until eventually it's like, ah! I'll find it. I will. Austin doesn't have it. He has no buttons.
Yeah, I have no button.
He lost that button like he lost his testicle. Maybe it was
And
on
my
your
dad.
it was on your testicle. Or it's on your dad.
Yes, sir.
Duration 1 minute. Ooh. That's longer than I've ever lasted. I'm kidding. I've lasted at least 2 minutes.
That's more realistic. Personal is.
Oh, what is this one? The world's smallest political quiz? All right, let's go. I'll do it first just so that people can see how shitty I am. Government should not censor speech, press, media. Hey, wait. Wait, go up. Okay, maybe agree, disagree. Yeah, yes. Military service should be voluntary. There should be no draft. No, disagree, because it's a duty. Basically one of the tenets of you being able to vote is the sense of duty that you are a part of the draft. And in fact, why a lot of women, before women's suffrage, which is, it's a funny word, it just means women now have the right to vote. A lot of women didn't want the right to vote because they knew what it meant. If they had the right to vote, that would also mean that they have the responsibility to be a part of the draft, and they didn't want it at that time. That's not even sexism, that's just how it was back then.
History.
Yeah. So if women have the right to vote, then they should be a part of the draft. That's equality, bitches. There should be no laws regarding sex between consenting adults. Strongly agree. Agree on that one. I don't give a shit. There should be no laws. I don't agree with it, but there should be no laws. Repeal laws prohibiting adult possession and use of drugs. Maybe.
It depends on what drugs they are.
Maybe. I'm not purely libertarian in that regard. Government should not target, detain, or deport undocumented workers. Disagree. Government should.
I can't read wrong. Or can't read right.
Yeah.
Can't talk right either.
And for the reason is because undocumented migrants don't have to pay the taxes, and they're actually a tax burden on most of us. So it's like they're benefiting from the system that we've built while not contributing at all. So that's not even fair. It's like having someone
leeching your money or whatever.
No, it's like having someone go to the front of the line. Let's say you go to Starbucks. I hate it. But let's say someone goes to the front of the line and they get a free coffee, whereas everyone else has to pay. And not only do they have to pay, but they also have to pay for the other guy's coffee. Yeah. It's like, well, if that happened, you'd have a lot more shit happening. But because you don't see it, it's no problem. Yeah. Economic issues. Taxpayers should not be responsible for student loan debt. Agree. They shouldn't. It was a decision that including myself, it was a decision that I made to go to college. It should not be the burden of anyone else or the responsibility. Government should not be responsible for providing health care. Agree. Government is not their job. The only job of the government is to ensure that certain emergency, fire health, not fire health, but fire, ambulatory, and other services that are emergency, military or police force. That's pretty much the only reason government's there, is to ensure that your rights are protected as a citizen. And healthcare is not a right; it's a privilege. I know that seems like, well, what about the people who die? It's still the way that it is. In the same way that a government cannot ensure that you get, the government cannot ensure that you get water, food, or anything else. Yes, it's a necessity of life, but it's not a right for you to have it. I know that seems, I'll explain later after. Let people control their own retirement. Privatize Social Security. Agree on that one. Or maybe is probably a better position for me. I think that for Social Security, we should raise the age of people before they can get Social Security. Back when it came out, I think in the early 40s, maybe late 40s, I think it was FDR, so late 40s, right after World War II, the age that they set it at was 55 years old, and the average age of death was like 53. So most people couldn't even get Social Security, and right now it's at 65, and the average age of death is 78. I think it should always be higher than the average age of death, because otherwise you're just... ensuring that people don't actually take care of themselves.
I think we should eradicate it, honestly. And people it needs to be put
Because
in schools.
it's a major sink in funds. Government should have never gotten into the idea of taking care of people. Government's not your daddy. Replace government welfare with private charity. Agree. You don't even have to replace it. Private charity already exists. Cut taxes and government spending by 50%. Hell yeah. Thanks, Justin. Bonus issues optional. Before we show you results, which of these do you think best reflects your views? Libertarian, progressive, moderate, conservative, authoritarian, unsure. I would say conservative.
Progressive.
I'm not progressive. Fuck you. Conservative.
I'm just messing with you. Boom. Well.
Oh, okay. Libertarian, yeah.
And conservative.
Yeah, I've always been pretty close to both.
Score 50 economic issues, score 90.
But it's a quick quiz. The next quiz will probably refine it a little bit more. Moderate. That really? I'm moderate?
Let's think 21.
I'm saying that the government shouldn't do shit, and that makes me moderate.
Check to see how other who have taken the world's smallest political... Yeah, these are other people.
Oh.
22,000 people. Authoritarian. Holy shit.
Yeah, because no one wants to say that...
And people say we're not a minority.
Yeah, right.
Whenever I say, like, being a conservative is a bit of a minority...
You are.
Yeah, exactly. People say, oh, no, you're not a minority. These people are. It's like, okay.
If I shout in a crowd of 1,000 people, hey, I think we should abolish abortion, how many people are going to be on my side versus against me?
Yeah, 1,000 against
I might have 10 people go with me, and there's 20 people hiding out in the crowd that don't want to do anything, but they still agree with me. I'm not going to. Okay, so
I didn't want to stay to see the drama, but that's about it.
Let's see if you're progressive. Be progressive.
What is progressive?
Be progressive.
Well,
It's
now that we've done
lib.
the quiz, where do you think you'll be scored at in the...
I think
I don't really know. You'd have to
conservative.
explain a lot of this because I get really confused on.
Just go back to the.
Oh, I have to go all the way back, don't I?
There you go.
Okay.
Oh, too far.
Government should not
Censor speech, press, media, or internet.
agree.
Boom.
What?
Military. Wait, what?
No, it's,
Oh, okay.
military service should be voluntary. There should be no draft. Draft is
Disagree.
basically in which.
Yeah, I was right there with you. I'm gonna be right there with you on most of them.
Yeah.
So,
So he said disagree.
disagree. Yeah.
There should be no laws regarding sex between consenting adults.
What does that exactly mean?
So,
per se,
basically,
A 25-year-old.
sex between consenting adults, you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
So two adults say it's fine, we can have sex together. It's basically saying even if they're both men, both women, whatever they are, as long as they're consenting, there should be no laws against it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so agree. Repeal laws prohibiting adult possession of the use of drugs.
Yeah, I was pretty neutral on that.
So maybe.
Yeah.
Government should not target, detain, or deport undocumented workers.
Should not disagree.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Because they basically take your job away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Taxpayers should not be responsible for student loan debt.
Correct.
Especially when you talk about people who didn't go to college and they're still
Yeah.
making money. It's like,
Yeah.
how is that fair?
Yeah, because I didn't go to college.
Yeah. So whenever it comes around, I'm going to try not to. My wife is going
will I
to
ever?
heavily be like, well, you should just let it happen. I'm like, it just feels wrong for me. If they do like the debt forgiveness, I'm like, it's not my money. I don't want it. I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the stimulus for me at first. I was like, I don't want it. It's not really technically mine, but you can make the argument that, well,
You're going to pay yourself back.
well,
Or you're going to pay the government.
yeah, I didn't like it, but it's like, technically, if the government, the reason that they gave everyone a check is because they took your ability to work away for most people. Technically, I didn't, but government should not be responsible for providing health care.
No. They shouldn't be responsible.
So agree.
Yeah.
Let people control their own retirement. Privatize Social Security. You can't privatize Social Security. The name Social Security indicates that it's not private.
Just get rid of Social Security.
Okay.
Private.
I guess technically you could privatize it, and like you have a group of 10 people, they come together and they make their own retirement fund. Sure, but most people won't do that.
Disagree.
Let people control their own retirement, privatize Social Security. So if you say disagree, that means that
I'm
you don't think that
wording
people
it
should.
Weird to where my brain is like, what does it mean?
Social Security is?
Yeah.
If you say agree, then that means that you say that people should control their own money. Whereas if you say disagree, you're like, no, the government should step in and
yeah. Fuck the government.
Yeah, so agree.
Because if you disagree,
You can also say maybe, because instead of like instead of that, you could say just raise the age of Social Security. People would get it. That's what I did.
It's how they word it that gets me fucked in the brain.
Replace government welfare with private charity.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because typically the people who are on government welfare are not appreciative.
Yeah.
Whereas with
government welfare is just a fuck
with private
fest,
charity, at least people are appreciative of the money that comes in, kind of thing. Cut taxes and government spending by 50% or more. Before we show you results, what do you think best reflects? You don't have to. It's optional. And see my results without saving.
I'm probably going to get the same as you.
Oh, this is slow.
My computer's probably overheating then. So make sure to close out as many tabs that you don't need.
73?
Yeah. Close out of tabs.
Yeah.
That you don't need.
Yeah, I can get rid of this one.
And maybe open the window.
You want me to get rid of your schools?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. Oh, man. That is buggy. Okay.
Because it's overheating. Need to open the window.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna laugh if the stream dies right in the middle.
Yeah.
It typically does that much overheating whenever it's still loading all of the basic memory at the very beginning of it.
Progressive tonight.
A little progressive.
Progressive, yeah.
Oh, great! Now that you did that.
What?
I think your score was at 100, and it was in between conservative and I saw.
So it was
before.
mine?
It was similar to yours, but it was more on the wall of the diamond. Yours was in like the middle of the diamond.
Okay, because he said instead of maybe on one of them, he said agree.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, it makes sense. Because I don't know if we're it's trying, but it's.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure it's just popping up a whole bunch of windows. Here's the thing: you can see all the window tops on your screen. We can't, so I can't see how many windows you have open.
It's not opening.
Okay.
See.
Well,
Boom.
he had the same results as me. There's no difference other than like one thing. So,
Yeah.
are we gonna do the more comprehensive political quiz?
You can get rid of that one.
No, because that one.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Actually,
It's
no, this
not
one's
that bad.
This one's not bad. The one
Yeah,
that the personality one. Was
Personality?
the one.
Hell no. I've
We're
taken.
over here for 3 hours.
I've taken the personality test.
I'd still do
before.
it though.
No.
I wouldn't now, but
Yeah,
I mean, I
later.
would later. Yeah. Or
Later, dude.
Yeah.
I'll go first. Should homeless individuals that have refused available shelter or housing be allowed to sleep or encamp? No.
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 Oh, it's such a problem at Sunrise.
No.
It's just a problem.
If you've already refused shelter, that tells me that you're doing drugs and you don't actually need help in that regard. Like you don't need like a house. You need other help.
Yeah.
So
mental help.
no, you should not be able to sleep in and camp on public property so that everyone gets to deal with your shit, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
How important is this to you? Do I have to say that one? There's I would say more important to me. It's not the most important thing, but healthcare issues. Should there be more or less privatization of veterans' healthcare? More or less. I think there should be more. It seems to do better. I would say that somewhat. I wouldn't even say that much. Do you support the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act? No. More.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Should the federal government increase funding of healthcare for low-income individuals? No. Most. It's again, it's not their job to be daddy, okay? What is your stance on abortion? I am pro-life. Most. It's very important to me. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? No. It's not their job. Most.
It's a private company. Why is the government?
Most.
Yeah. If you want to get it, cool. I won't support.
Plus, it's like I'm giving you blood money. I'm giving you the funds to support something I don't agree with. Yeah, it's like, really?
Yeah.
Should health
They're giving
insurance
away our
providers
tax
be
money,
required to
obviously,
offer free birth control? No. It's not that important to me. Should the president be able to authorize military force against Al Qaeda without congressional approval? Yes. That is one of his jobs. That's literally one of the jobs of the president. You're the executive branch, which
let me
means...
play devil's advocate. What if it was like the Russia guy? What's his name again? Putin? What if our president was like Putin and decided to invade?
The president has no authority to start or declare a war, but the president has authority to use military action against someone. That's literally the reason the president's there, is because we understand that Congress is going to take too long to act on certain things while they're signing things in law we're already being taken over. That's why the president was even there in the first place, so that he could make that decision on his own. And I say he because every president has been a he. And probably will be, unless you have... Well, I mean, technically Kamala was for like an hour because, God forbid... So when Joe Biden went under anesthesia...
He died?
No, he had...
I wish.
When a president goes under for a surgery, their vice president has to assume power from that point on until they wake up. So technically, Kamala Harris was president of the United States for about 2 hours during his colonoscopy. You want to know what Trump did to ensure that Mike Pence wouldn't?
Yeah.
He stayed awake during the colonoscopy.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's funny.
That's almost comedic.
But anyway, yes, it's one of the president's provisions to basically have the ability to act on certain things that are you have to act on right away, whereas Congress can't do that.
Yeah.
So I agree. Should the U.S. assassinate suspected terrorists in foreign countries? No.
Really?
No. It is not our job to be judge, jury, and executioner in one fell swoop.
For the world.
Because it says suspected terrorists. It's like, yeah, it's sure if they are a terrorist, then
yeah,
sure.
if you have the proof.
Yeah, but suspected, no. Because what if you get it wrong, which we have more times probably than we've gotten it right. Obama bombed a lot of innocent civilians in order to get suspected terrorists. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Why are these darker than...
I don't know. It's probably just, I don't know.
What?
Should social media companies ban political advertising?
Yes.
Well, it is a waste of money.
If it's a public space, though...
It shouldn't be banned. It's just...
Well, for certain ones, I think it should.
It's either you allow all of it or you allow none of it. So I would say that no, you should not be able to ban political advertising.
Because it's part of your freedom.
But that policy issue has nothing to do with government, though.
Although I do disagree with advertising in general. People should do their research, not just go like,
Yeah.
oh, this advertisement says to vote for this person.
Well, yes, but I think that anyone, political or otherwise, should be able to advertise.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
they're not used...
Yeah, but do it on... There should be, like...
Yeah, but there's no public
Certain-
funding behind it.
There
Their
should be
funding is from
certain-
a campaign. It's not from tax
there
dollars.
is.
If it's from
Yeah,
tax dollars, then
then not-
hell
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's for a certain, like, social media, area, then full free, but there should be certain ones that should not have those political...
I'm just of
things.
the contention that social media should not have the power to ban political advertising or political speech.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have that
Not
power.
speech, but advertising as a... Like, I'm more seeing as, like,
Don't
Big
get me wrong,
Brother
they do
coming
have that
in.
power, but
Like,
sorry.
more like Big Brother coming in and, like, being like... How do I explain this?
Basically come in and say what the company has to do, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, it's their own right to...
Although-
because it's their creation. They
There's
should-
still a point in which government does have to step in when you're talking about
Yeah.
monopolies.
I mean, if it's something huge
Because that's what Teddy Roosevelt did. He stepped in and he broke up all the monopolies because it was basically tearing apart the country and the economy because you have these 4 or 5 companies. One of those companies goes bust. Economy's fucked. It's like you got to break it down so that people have more opportunity.
I agree with you, but at the same time, it's
equal opportunity. Basically, I think any company that is using unfair practices to ensure that another company could never succeed, like they always use gas station. What is it called? Analogy. Basically, you have 2 gas stations on a corner with one another. One gas station just started out. The other one has like thousands of gas stations around the country. So what that one gas station does is lower their costs to like $1 per gallon, selling it at a negative, whereas the other one's got to be at $3 a gallon. They don't have the funds to go down to $1 a gallon, but now they can't get anyone to their. So that company can afford it to basically get them to no longer be on the corner, and they can buy them out. It's like that's monopolization. I think that should be completely broken up. Like that's not fair practice.
I agree. Yeah, I agree it shouldn't be banned, but I don't like political advertising.
Yeah.
People.
I don't
It's
like
like
it,
a
but I don't think
50-50.
social media companies should have the
exactly.
authority to ban anything, really.
Yeah. That's fair.
Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? No. There's already way too many.
There's enough.
There's already way too many.
I think it's honestly like
But more
perfect
of
the way it is.
Yeah, you already get a background check. It's
Yeah.
like most of the time, if you seem a little squirrely, the guys who are there like, I can't sell you a gun, man. Why not? You're not
Looks like
acting
you're about
right.
to do something.
You're not acting right. You're either on drugs or you're crazy, and I can't hand you a gun if I think that anything's going to happen if I do.
Yeah.
So I think it's already good enough.
Both?
Should teachers be allowed to carry guns at school? Yes, they should be allowed to. It should not be forced, but they should be allowed to.
Employee should be allowed to carry a gun.
Yeah. Any employee in any business should be allowed to carry a gun, and it should not come back on the company if that employee has to use that gun
To defend
lawfully.
themselves.
Yeah. So
Defend themselves
Yeah, for
or
example,
others.
someone literally got killed working at a bar right next to Domino's.
were they working at the bar or were they
I don't
just
know
at
if
the
they're
bar?
working, but I drove by there and I saw a picture of him and a lot of things. Like
Well, he's gone to that. I think he was at that bar for a long time. So,
Possible.
and they're always back there. They literally lit off fireworks last night. So there's always cars behind there. They're always doing stupid shit like guys do. But do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loans? No. No, because here's the thing. The government can reduce the interest rate to 0 if they want to. It's their power to do so because most of these, like my loan is federally, like it's given out federally, which means that they can put it at whatever percent they want to. If they want to make sure, like, okay, more lax, I can give you 1%. You just pay me and you get the interest 1%. They can do that. They don't have to raise taxes on the rich to do that.
No.
So, yeah. Should critical race theory be taught in K through 12? Hell no. Mostly agree.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, because for some reason people don't know this, critical race theory is actually a form of critical theory, which was a theory founded by Karl Marx, in which it instilled this idea that people of different classes have different levels of oppression. So the poor class, at that time, the poor class are the most oppressed, and the rich class are the least oppressed. That means that the rich class is negatively affecting the poor class. Like the rich class is basically saying, it's your fault that the poor are this way. That was a strategy done by Karl Marx to instill animus between the two groups, easier to divide them and cause chaos, as well as instill a form of communism. Critical race theory is doing the exact same thing, but on the basis of race. If you're a minority or a person of color, black, white, no, not white, obviously, Asian and some other groups that they define, if you're oppressed, then that, I think this is overtly racist. You should never say that any group is oppressed because you're telling them that no matter how hard you try, you're still oppressed. Like there's nothing you can't do, or there's nothing you can do to ensure that you're not oppressed, even though technically Asians kind of break that because they were and now they're not because they're succeeding, and you got that whole
they're
fiasco.
succeeding more than white people.
But what the two reasons why it's bad: one, it's telling minorities that you're oppressed and that there's nothing you can't, like there's nothing you can do about it except for us your white saviors to step in the day to ensure that the other whites know that they're the oppressors and that they should apologize to you. It's like, it's the most racist shit, and teachers are doing this.
Right.
Like, they're giving material out to kids that isn't necessarily the curriculum, sure, but they're still giving out material to kids, and they're practicing this idea
It's
of
brainwashing people.
they're not being taught critical race theory, and they play this trick. They're not teaching critical race theory. They're teaching the practice, and they're letting them practice the idea of critical race theory. It'd be like, well, I'm not teaching them about gas prices, but I'm making them pay for the gas prices. It's like, okay, you're practicing, but you're not teaching. It's like, okay, whatever.
It's almost evil.
It's causing segregation between races. And literally, there are universities out there in which black students want to segregate into their own black study groups, and enforced by the university to where white people can't come into those study groups because they want to segregate. It's like, you're basically reversing all of the advancements that were made over the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
So, sorry, that was a long tangent. No. Critical race theory is one of the most divisive and destructive policies that is, or ideas that have come out in the last 20 years. And unfortunately, we were blind to it for 10 years, in which teachers were just subtly teaching their kids this. And luckily enough, because of the pandemic, one thing that was good is parents could walk by the Zoom session and hear the teacher teaching shit like that and go, hell no, you're not teaching my kid that. If that didn't happen and they were just in the classroom, parents wouldn't have known, and it would have just gone on for so long.
Yeah.
And why it's so evil is because Hitler did the same thing. In order to change the mind of the population, he went after the kids and taught them behind the parents' back. Because if you can teach the kids your own ideology, they'll turn against their parents. So it's either their parents get in line with whatever they're teaching the kids, or you're going to be ousted by the Stasi. I think it's Stasi. I can't remember how it's pronounced. It's a German word, but it's not good. And we shouldn't be teaching it to kids.
Yeah, why are we?
When I was growing up,
don't want to learn about
and I think this is for most people, when you're growing up,
They
if
need
you
to
had
stay kids.
if you had a friend of whatever color, race, ethnicity, creed, it didn't matter. You didn't care.
No?
I didn't care if I had a black friend and a Hispanic
Yeah.
friend. We made fun of each other the same, and now I have to be careful about how I make fun of my friends. No,
Right.
go fuck yourself. It's like, I want to have fun with them, but now I got to walk on eggshells
Yeah,
because
you gotta be careful
I
now.
might say something wrong, and someone's gonna step in, and the white savior complex.
Which causes us to separate from each other because we can't. do certain
Yeah.
things.
So it's basically causing the greater divide
divide,
than and that's the purpose of the Marxist ideology, is because they're not only teaching that, they're also teaching you to separate from your family. Right now, in today's day and age, how close are you to your family versus how close you were to them 5 years ago? Significantly less so. And there's a reason for it. It's because not only with social media is that causing a distraction where people aren't really paying attention to their relationships anymore, but you also got those ideas forcing their way into the family's lives. Because if you can tear down the family, you can tell anyone what to do and they'll do it because they have nothing to stand for. They have no principle.
Yeah.
I told my wife this. Sorry, after this last point. I told my wife this last night. I'm like, the problems that we face in this country could result from one, population and group. White, upper-class, liberal women. I was like, if they didn't have any power, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm just saying, if they had no power and everyone just ignored them, the world would be a much better place.
Yeah.
It'd be a much better place because you know who actually cares about racism? It's the white rich lady who is liberal telling I've actually seen it multiple times.
There's some
Telling
liberal
people
guys
not
out
to
there.
say a joke with their friend who is black because they're black and trying to protect that person, but not asking that person for it. And then that person, they're like, don't feel like you have to defend me, bitch. You don't know who I am. It's like, this is so bad. Anyway, should the federal government pay for tuition at four-year colleges and universities? No. It is not their job to ensure that people get an education, formal or otherwise. That is up to you. That is your duty. Or your responsibility, not duty. Should the U.S. raise taxes on the
When
rich?
did you do this?
No. It was
on
a
the
little
other
bit.
one.
It was for a specific policy. Should the U.S. raise taxes on the rich?
No, they should raise it to where it's even for everyone.
I would say no, but as far as how important it is to be, I would say less so. Should the government raise the federal minimum wage? No, because it doesn't help anything.
Yeah, it just brings rates up.
In fact, the federal minimum wage was instilled as a white supremacist idea. If you ensure that there's a minimum wage and you can keep, at that point, this is not my point of view, if you can keep the blacks at a minimum wage, whereas everyone else is making something better, then that's actually good because you cause a segregation and a separation between the two groups. So federal minimum wage was actually racist in its idea when it was first formed. So, and it doesn't help anything. You raise it to $15, okay, then that burger you bought at $3 is now $6. It's like,
it might not be instant. But
yeah.
it'll climb
Well, in
over.
fact, I remember someone actually proving that you have less money because the taxes that are then instilled are taking more money out, so that instead of that gallon of milk that you were able to buy and you had $1 left over, now you only have about 60 cents left over because the taxes for the milk went up.
Yeah. Causes some.
And that's why government keeps pushing it, because the higher the minimum wage goes up, the more they can
More money
tax
they
you.
get,
Yeah.
yep.
Do you support a universal basic income program? No. Because that fundamentally makes people lazy, and we've actually just proved that over the last 2 years with the whole parent-child fund. You know how they're getting $300 per child per month?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of our coworkers now is starting to ask for money because that went away.
Hey.
Because she wasn't responsible enough. I'm not going to say her name. She wasn't responsible enough. She had like 6 or 7 kids with 3 or 4 guys. Probably because she knew she was going to get money from the government for it. It's like, yeah.
That's
If you
evil
incentivize behavior, don't be surprised when that behavior occurs.
thinking.
Yeah.
Just have children just to get money.
Yeah,
That's
that's
fucked
evil.
up.
That's-
She likes kids, and that's
that helps.
one of the reasons for it, but it was because of the
still
money that she
fucked
had
up.
kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Should the U.S. build a wall along the southern border? Yes. I think that any country should have and has the right to instill their borders.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't have borders and you're not sovereign, then are you even a country? It's like, you got to define a border, and you got to make sure that that border stays there. It's like,
Yeah.
building a wall is just a signifier. Hey, don't come in because you're not welcome unless you come through the port of entry.
Legally, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it actually helps more immigrants too, because we do have wall along the southern border, but there are gaps in between.
On this next one.
What?
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Never mind.
Because there are gaps
Oh, you want me to
between.
answer, I see what you mean.
Yeah, thank you. There are gaps between the southern border in which migrants are going through. Migrants, I mean illegal aliens. They're going through the southern border at areas that are desert, hot, mountainous, very difficult to traverse. So you're having more and more death occur as a result of having a porous border or holes in the wall where it's more dangerous to cross. So I think it's actually killing more people not to have a wall than to have one. Should illegal immigrants have access to government subsidized health care? Hell no! Why should I have to pay for their health care? They're not, like, they didn't contribute to it, so why the fuck did they benefit from it? Should undocumented immigrants or illegal aliens, should they be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges within their residing state? No. Because they don't live here, so why should they benefit from the structure that we have built?
Probably
So-
more.
Yeah, more. Should the Electoral College be abolished? No. The reason that the Electoral College is there is to ensure that every state has some power, and that it is not just the cities that govern who gets in. So you're basically, this is a constitutional republic and not a democracy. A pure democracy would be majority rule. As long as there's 51% of people that agree on something, that gets passed. That's actually not a very good policy, because you can get a majority of people to agree on anything, and it could be
I
awful.
already know the answer to this next one.
Yeah, but
No.
the electoral college basically is one of the safeguards to ensure that that doesn't happen. Because if you remove the electoral college, you have cities like Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. They have all of the electoral power. So now, instead of politicians going to each state and making sure each state is they listen to the issues of each state, they go to each city. And of course, each city thinks the same way. So you just have the same policies. And anyway, I'm going too slow. Continue. Should foreigners
No.
currently residing in the United States have the right to vote? No. No, because they're not, one, they're not
Same
currently
thing
paying
with that
taxes,
one.
and two, you're allowing them to change
It'd be yes.
Yeah.
So.
Should a photo ID be required to vote? Yes. Just like it's required to buy alcohol, it should be required for a vote. If alcohol is less important than a vote, then why the fuck not? Yeah. Should the government increase spending on public transportation? It depends. What government? Is it the federal government or is this like localized governments? Because if it's like a city government, then that's fine, as long as the people agree to it. But if you're talking about federal government, then no. I'm going to say that they mean federal, so no. Because I shouldn't have to pay for the public transportation of Chicago because they couldn't fund it themselves. Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? No, because I think that human ingenuity as well as the private and people's understanding of how the world works, I think they will... It's self-correcting, I think, for the most part. I think people are self-correcting in that regard. Should the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement? Yes, because it's not working. It doesn't work. China's a part of the Paris Climate Agreement, and have they reduced any of their CO2 emissions? No, they've in fact increased it, so it's not working. Should drilling be allowed in the Alaska Wildlife Refuge? It depends on where. So I'd say other stances on that one. No. Wait.
A lot of options. You could add your own stance even. Fancy.
Yeah, I don't want to add my own though.
This question is no longer relevant and should be removed.
It just depends on where. Like if you're talking about a beautiful forest, creeks and everything, then no. But if you're talking about the majority of what America looks like, where it's just wasteland and kind of grassland, then fuck yeah, I don't give a shit.
You'd say yes, but with very strict environmental regulations.
Yes, I guess. I think that's going to put me in a wrong camp. I would say less. I don't care about Alaska that much. Should the government require children to be vaccinated for preventable diseases? No. That is up to the parents to decide, not the government. The government should never step in to make decisions for a parent. Do you support the use of nuclear energy? Yes.
It's actually good.
Yes.
As long as
most
you don't mess it up.
Yeah.
I'll go with
That's not to say that government has any say in there. At most. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should producers be required to label genetically engineered foods?
It depends on what they do.
Well, genetically modified means that they actually went in and they changed the genome of the plant to ensure a better yield.
I mean, they already do that with like peppers, hot peppers.
I would
They already do that.
I would
think
say
it's kind of cool.
I would say no.
Okay.
And I think the reason being is people want to know anyway, so I don't think the government requiring it is going to help any.
You want to put less or
Yeah, it's not that important to me.
least?
Because if you modify something genetically speaking, it doesn't mean you're going to get cancer. It doesn't mean anything bad's going to happen to you. It's just...
I think it's kind of cool, like for hot peppers.
as long as you still have the natural genome and you're not like... Because if you go down that road, eventually, if you're so far away from the natural genome and none of the plants are growing anymore and you can't go back to the original, then you're fucked. But I don't think you should be required to label it. Should the government increase or decrease military spending? I would say other stances. I think we're fine where I think we're fine where we're at. Actually, you know what? Decrease. I don't think we should have, because we spend more than every other nation in the world combined.
But
I
yeah,
still think
we
should
would
be
still
bigger
lose.
or close to the same size as the second leading one, so they.
But I'm still of the contention is like,
It's like Ukraine.
if
They got
we-
rid of a lot of their military.
yeah, but it's because of our military they don't have a strong one. It's like because we were the police force for everyone else and everyone thought that we would
You're
step
right.
in and help.
Yeah.
We're coming up with more problems. Why should I spend so much money
Why
to
are we-
ensure the safety of
of
people
others?
around the world? Yeah.
They should be paying for that if they want to.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's my contention that if a battle ever came to the United States from a foreign government, from a foreign country, people here who are citizens would stand and fight. Like, you don't really need a
Kinda like
military
Ukraine,
because
well.
the I think it was the Japanese emperor at the time of World War II who invaded the United States, or he didn't want to invade the mainland because he made the note of behind every blade of grass there will be a gun. I'm not going to go into mainland because I understand that everyone in the United States has a gun and will fight to defend. It's like it's impossible to invade America. So I don't think we should have that big of a military.
That's That's a good argument.
Because we are the military. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria?
Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't increase or decrease, but we should still have a lot of equipment, like tanks and stuff.
I still say decrease the military spending, though, because we already have that equipment.
You're right.
I think we
Except
spend...
supersonic nuclear.
Because we spend
We're working on it.
We spend like $1 million per Humvee. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, it's dumb.
I think you should...
companies take advantage of the military.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they take advantage of government because government's got a fat check. They don't care. It's not their money. So fuck it. I'll give you $1 million for that.
Yeah.
Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria?
Well, yeah, legally.
Yeah,
If
I
they
think you
plan
should
on
still
being legal
accept it
citizens.
as long as they're being vetted.
Yeah.
Like everyone that comes in the country should be vetted. Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? No. Constitutional rights are only given to those who live in the country, and they're only they're
Probably
only
more,
protected
yeah,
by those
more
who
than
live
most.
in the country. They're instilled by God. They're rights given by God, but they're only protected as a government. We recognize that only the citizens of America are the ones who are protected by it, because otherwise we have to step in everywhere, and we can't do that. Should funding for local police departments be redirected to social and community-based programs? No, because a social worker is not going to prevent themselves from being stabbed. Okay, they don't have a gun, they can't protect themselves. That's a bad idea. Should police departments be allowed to use military-grade equipment? Yes. They should. Should convicted criminals have the right to vote?
No.
If they have already served their sentence. So go to other stances.
Well, I don't know.
Yes, but only after completing their sentence. Once you have
I mean, I guess
served
that's fair,
served the
but
punishment for your crime,
It depends
you
on
should
also
have
what
your
that-
right reinstated.
You should
That's
still
all-
be able to get a job and everything.
that's also what
Yeah.
your punishment was.
Yeah, your punishment was the time in jail. I'm not going to continue to punish you afterward. And I think
Okay, but
I
if
think
you
they should
see-
also be able to buy a gun once they've gone through the whole system. They should be able to buy a gun legally.
Yeah.
As long as they have served
depends
their
on the
time
mental
for the
health.
crime that they have
Okay.
committed.
It depends
But
on the mental
you
health.
see a lot
It's
of
person
people.
by person, but I'm
you-
saying as a general.
You see a lot of people have done horrible things and they get like a few years, and it's like, how?
Yeah.
That's the legal system for
Yeah.
the most part. That has to,
You know,
that comes down to sentencing.
I'm gonna get shit for this, if whatever. But I think okay.
You're getting those devil eyes out. I notice sometimes when you turn, you kind of do it slow, and you kind of look at me like you're trying to think of ways to hurt me, Daddy. I know it's
Like,
your way of
the
thinking, but it
state-
looks like
the state-
malicious.
The state of like execution. I think for life sentences they should be executed. Why? Is because then our prisons wouldn't be so fucking filled and we wouldn't have all that problem. Like the hard time criminals that have gone in for murder and whatnot, kill them. I think we should have the death penalty.
I think
It would also
To a
cause them
degree-
not want to commit
to a
too.
degree, I agree with
and
you.
it would show punishment.
To a degree, I agree with you. But unfortunately, with our judicial system, you'll be spending by far more money per prisoner that you kill than if they just stay alive.
Not really.
No.
Is it,
They spend tens of millions of dollars on legal documentation to ensure that the person who was convicted
is the person.
is the person.
It takes 10, 20 years.
Yes,
Right?
so it's a lot of money to actually
But
get
I'm
to the point
saying
where you kill them.
Get rid of that. Being like the olden days where we find you guilty, you're dead.
I'm
But-
of the opposite contention. I don't think the government should have a say in who they should or should not
No,
kill.
I think it should be left up to the
Yeah,
people.
Like we vote on it.
Yeah, like we vote on it.
I still think that's also wrong too, because then you get into the point of, well, the majority don't like you, so I think you should die. It's like,
Yeah,
but I just got a parking ticket.
okay. Obviously, not that extreme.
Yeah.
but I'm saying like
I know what you
rapist. Well, we don't really have to worry about like pedophilia per se because they get killed in prison.
mean. Well, they get fucked up the wazoo.
they get their punishment.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But murderers, particularly.
I've gone
You
back
should.
and forth with lethal
Lethal.
injection or
No, I think they should do
death
it in the most
penalty.
humane way, because, and everyone would be feared, like of like doing something criminal.
So just
But
put
if
them.
you get-
So just take all the prisoners that have a death
No,
sentence.
I'm kind of
Wait,
joking
let
about
me
this.
finish. Let me
to
finish.
Be clear,
This is a
but
joke.
not really.
This is a joke. So you take all the prisoners that are sentenced to death in a prison, and you make them all shower together in one room. And after they're done showering, you make them strip down, and then you put them in a room. And after you put them in this room, you start to fill the room with a specific gas and makes them fall asleep. They'll eventually die, and then they just dispose of the bodies. Yeah.
I
Hitler was
more-
right on some things.
I mean, I was more like thinking like
Now, he did it with innocent Jews. I'm saying, like, the people who, you know,
I'd say more like
because it saves money,
Put
it
them in a
saves
field.
time. It's like it doesn't hurt you. It's just carbon monoxide. You'll just pass out. You're dead.
Go for the pain.
Okay, acid, sulfuric acid gas. That's what I want to go.
That's worse than burning alive. It's acid.
Yeah, honestly.
You basically are burning.
I
Yeah.
think if you do the like
They're
if you do
stronger
horrible
acids.
things, then
Yeah.
you should get punished. And not just serve time.
No, we
because
should.
prisons are
We should
so
let you out of
fucking-
prison and then just have like
They're like
mercenaries
hotels
hunt you
now.
down,
Oh,
like not John Wick, but
Yeah.
the Punisher. Just
Yeah.
have the Punisher come after you.
That would be
Yeah.
At least you go down in a dope way.
Yeah. Like if you can evade him for long enough, then props,
Good
you
for
know.
yeah.
You finally get to 70 and you're like, oh, just shake me now.
Oh.
If the
Different
2022 Washington U.S. Senate election were held today, which candidate would you vote for? Washington
God.
State? I don't know who any of them are.
Yeah. This is local. Whom would you most likely like to run for president?
Ron DeSantis all the way. Holy shit.
Who's that guy again?
The governor of Florida. He's basically Donald Trump
yeah.
without all the Donald Trumpness. Like, whenever he
Without
attacks
the-
someone, he does it because he's been attacked already. He never gives the media, like, an edge to...
Yeah.
Whereas Donald Trump would just kind of hit at everybody, and then the media, like, oh my God, you attacked this person.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool to have him. I know he doesn't want to be.
I think it would be better a
Oh,
press
this one
secretary.
right here.
She would be a
This
good
one.
press secretary, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they both should be.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Pence.
But you didn't answer the topper.
Wait, do we
Oh,
have
so
to
we don't
answer
know.
all of these?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, is it? It's not required, I don't think.
Oh,
Okay,
show
okay,
me
then
your-
go.
We could do this too.
Okay,
Show
then
more
don't say any of them because I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
I know who Pat Murray is, and I don't
so
like
many
her
damn
at
names.
all.
Yeah.
She's insufferable. Which qualities are most important to you in a candidate? Consistency, commitment. Wait, yeah, Justin, just go through and hit consistency down.
Oh, you can play it.
Yeah,
Okay.
consistency, commitment,
I know there's multiple. Okay.
effectiveness, honesty, leadership, transparency, integrity, determination. I guess intelligence is a good thing too.
Yeah.
And morality.
No, you gotta keep that unchecked for Joe Biden.
Morality. Hit morality because they have to be moral.
Yeah.
It's good to have a good vision too. All
Okay,
these kinda
show
make
my
sense.
results.
All these kind of make sense.
I don't care about common sense for the most part. Everyone has common sense
Processing.
enough.
It takes a lot to process all
Don't.
those questions.
Parties. Constitutional Republican.
Okay, this one's pretty accurate.
Right wing, decentralization, small government, individualism,
You're 1%
assimilation, and
Democratic.
nationalism.
You're 1% Democratic.
0% Green Party,
Yeah.
1% Socialist Party. Wow, I'm surprised. That should be lower. Peace and freedom, 3%. Okay, peace and freedom's also the little pussies. So I agree with that.
Yeah, this is actually pretty accurate.
I agree with that.
I'm not even gonna do mine because mine would be very,
same,
very-
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like the current Republicans and most of the Republicans in office because they don't do shit. And they lie to you. They're like, oh, we'll do this one thing. We'll make sure this one thing gets passed. They all get the power to do it, and they never do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
It's
Politics.
both sides. That's a problem on both sides. For sure.
Populism on
No.
both sides is becoming very popular.
But I did want to make that clear that I wasn't like just fully saying like kill everybody that's in the
No,
prisons.
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there should be a bigger punishment for people that have done
horrible crimes. Yeah.
I think that they
launch
should,
them up in a rocket and see how long they last.
That's even worse.
or like the
Hunger Games. Hell yeah!
Yep.
Do human experiments on them.
I feel
Gas them.
Oh, God.
So bring in Hitler's department for the Jews and just apply it to the
I
death
think
row
some
inmates.
people would want to go to prison to be part of Hunger Games. Some like people that want to kill themselves already, they'd be like, "Hell yeah, I'll join this."
Yeah, I guess technically then you would kind of incentivize people to do heinous crimes.
I would honestly love the Hunger Games. Like if the Hunger Games happened.
It depends on who's participating, because typically what happens with the Hunger Games is the people who make the games are all rich. They're all like, they eat and then they consume something to vomit so they can eat some more because they're that rich. And then the people who have to fight are kids, but aren't really kids, who are poor. Yeah. So it's like they get the amusement of watching the poors fight amongst each other. Well, they get to like eat and drink and do whatever they want. I think the rich should be the ones who actually participate.
They should do that. Like another Hunger Games where they flip it.
Or I remember there's like a map showing like the different districts and what it would be like in the United States if you separated by districts. I don't remember, but they had like the districts, and one of them was literally Texas, Georgia, Mississippi, Florida, and Georgia. And it's like, that one's gonna beat everybody, because you have the people who know about guns, you have the crazy Florida man. It's like, you have everyone who's gonna beat. It's like, you're the most OP. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, we're
look at the bottom right. Yeah, that one. District 3 would definitely be the boss.
I can tell you right now, North Dakota.
One?
No, it's
one would be okay, except without California. Number 2 would be the worst, except for Idaho, I guess, and Montana
is like Texas,
Idaho, and Alaska. Everyone up in Alaska has a firearm.
I learned that Montana, every single person, the average of how many people live there, they have 13 guns each person.
Yeah.
So Montana is like Texas on steroids.
I would say
there's less population there.
Yeah. Number 5 and number 1 would do awful. Number 1 would do the worst because they are only understanding to one climate, and that's like beautiful climate throughout the entire year kind of thing, except for like Colorado and Utah.
They got the population.
Whereas literally everyone in number 3 can fight in 100% humidity and still keep going. And if it's cold, it's like
they might struggle.
Yeah, but
they might have a problem.
If they were to come over to our side, they would have a little bit more of a problem.
Only if they're fighting in the mountains. But otherwise, no.
I mean, like,
and I really think the fighting would happen in somewhere like Hawaii, where the rich could not, like, because the rich are going to be in DC in District 5, so they're going to want the fighting to be as far away as possible from them, whereas Alaska they can still watch.
Yeah,
Alaska's pretty damn far.
Yeah, that's true. They might switch it up. Yeah, but it's like District 3 is winning all the way. Yeah. Every single time. You might have a chance from one of the other ones, like there's just one really like inept superior and capable person. But most time 3 is going to be winning. Hey, I'd be a part of 3 if it's going by birthplace.
Yeah.
Problem
is we'd be in the front lines of 2 different districts.
That doesn't matter. The districts don't fight each other. It's just at the Hunger Games they do.
Yeah, they just pick one.
Yeah. Or
a few people from each district.
I volunteer as tribute.
I would, straight up.
Just every time. You've already won like 30 times. You're like, I volunteer.
Like,
I volunteer. I ain't no bitch. and then everyone who's like, I don't. You just go around just murking all the kids. You have a walker and you're still beating their ass.
Reminds me of the Punisher whenever you bring that up.
What?
I love that show. I love that show. Honestly, I wish they continued it.
Until Daredevil came in.
They probably would have if Disney didn't buy it out.
Oh, yeah.
Disney bought out Marvel, so they took all those shows away.
It's funny because Marvel seemed to be a little bit right.
More what?
More right.
Leaning?
Yeah.
It didn't bring out a lot of the, like...
Not anymore, though.
Yeah, it's...
Not anymore.
Okay, but Marvel back. Let's give it.
Okay, you're talking about like original Spider-Man, like with Tobey Maguire.
I'm talking like they wouldn't make a show called the Punisher. Like that's more right leaning, like that's conservative kind of level shit. Like that show.
It's just
to a degree.
Politics, really,
yeah,
which is how it should be. honestly.
All the
TV
comics
shows.
were supposed to be without it, but now they're literally writing comics with
Bo
gay
Burnham.
Aborigines people.
I used to love Bo Burnham, but this last movie just
Bill
annoyed
Burr?
me. Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Yeah, the
Bill
last-
Burr is also a comedian, and you said Bill.
Burnham.
Yeah, you said Bill Burnham. I'm like, okay, Bill Burr.
I'm tired of my,
Bo Burnham. That's hard. Go back and forth. Yeah, but that's also because he lives in a shitty state, and he's obviously like caving into depression because of not only the
stuck at
pandemic
home.
but other stuff. So
Yeah, I got bored.
yeah, it wasn't funny.
Yeah. It was
Like
very weird.
you're.
It surprised me.
Yeah,
He's
it's
very
like
good.
you're not
but
funny anymore when you say it like that. Like when you're cheery and like and you making fun of things, then yeah, you're funny. But whenever you're like, "Welcome to the internet," that one was kind of funny, but it was still like, okay, you're making more of a point than you're making it funny. Yeah.
It's more of a political view.
Yeah, because comedians are supposed to take like a really serious point,
They make it fun.
make it serious, but make it really funny too.
Yeah.
Like and walk that line of, well, oh, that's about too fucked up. Oh no, well, let's stay right there. So.
Yeah.
Here's that line that they write, and I'm like,
Yeah. The problem is if you do that, then your audience will start to no longer pay attention. So you have to keep your audience attention because at the very beginning, their line's actually pretty low, but you can keep raising the line of their threshold until you eventually break it, and then you just got to be right there because you're always trying to get them to follow you.
Yeah.
And I think, what's his name? British. Jimmy Carr's pretty good at it. He'll start off not like he'll make it comfortable. It's like some sexual jokes, and then he'll get really, 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 really bad,
dark.
really fast. But the
Yeah.
audience is keeping up with him because he's going so fast.
Tests the crowd with comedy.
Yeah.
And you'll know where the peak is.
Every good comedian is very good at sensing what the crowd is doing. They're always watching the crowd, and they understand. They understand what's too far, just instinctively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very good at reading people.
And that's why they're very good at BS meters. Like if someone's saying something that's bullshit, they understand when it's bullshit.
They know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else today?
Related to quizzes, no. But what would be your guys' spirit animal?
shark. Shark or like owl. For sure. Except for I'm not smart.
So I get sidetracked very easily, and I'll forget what I was supposed to do literally a minute ago because I changed from one conversation to another. So I'm thinking I'm more like a dog.
Yeah.
I have problems with attention for sure.
I'll probably say like shark
Yeah.
for me. I feel like I'm pretty passive and I'm
Bite
pretty
people on accident sometimes.
I don't
like there's
know.
sometimes there's like a malicious intent behind it, and when I do bite, my bite is raw.
Aggressive. Yeah.
But like most of the time I'm just gonna be like, what you doing there,
Yeah,
bud?
you'll just be swimming around.
Yeah. I'm
Which
just
is what
minding my
sharks do.
own
I feel like it'd be an
Sharks are not
shark
that deadly.
business.
Sharks aren't that deadly,
Yeah.
depending on where you're swimming.
I feel like I'd be an octopus. I know that sounds weird, but I think I'd be an octopus because I basically use
No spine.
I use so I can crawl on that ass better.
No backbone.
At least I got a beak. But no, it's probably because
They're hella smart.
I'm able to camouflage pretty easy, and because they're also smart, they avoid most of the conflict unless absolutely necessary. Then they'll just suck to your face, kind of thing.
They're
So
very interesting. I watched that little
Yeah, they're pretty
documentary
cool.
about them one time on Netflix.
they have the quickest camouflaging rate out of any animal, even though still people think
They're
that it's the
very
fucking
curious.
chameleons when chameleons can barely change their color at all, and it's not on the basis of
And
their
it's-
background.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Yeah.
all off of their
Emotion,
temper.
really. Yeah.
They're very timid but curious.
Yeah.
Like they're curious on what their surroundings, but they're also
Unless you're a
scared
crab,
that they'll
and they'll
be killed
fuck you
by
up.
something. Yeah. Then they're assassin.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Actually, I scratched this.
I
Not
think
really.
I'd actually be
I'd
elephant.
be the penis fish.
I'd be elephant. Elephants are still pretty intelligent. They hold on to information for a long time.
I'd be the-
Family's their priority, and then they're so big that no one
Wait.
else fucks with them. That's me.
I'm trying to think of the most fucked up animal.
The most fucked up?
I
Like,
look
are we
at-
talking about
I'd
like
be-
God should have
no, wait,
never?
Wait. No. I'd be the cookie cutter shark.
That's not the most fucked up.
No, I'm not talking about fucked up, but they're kind of the badass of the sea. They live in the depths, but they come up to feed on much bigger,
A water bear.
much bigger animals.
Oh, I know what they're called.
Like a mole rat.
No. It's
This looks demonic.
it's a microbe.
Where?
Middle top.
It's
a
a
water panda, but it's also called
It's kind of cute.
I think it's something like a pig. Or I forgot.
I forgot
what it's called.
I actually got to see him under a microscope. It's really cool.
What the hell is that?
That's
not.
It's a shark
It's a
with
basking
a
shark.
hippo
It's a basking shark
on
but
a
with
hippo, just
yeah.
like that shark with a horse.
Great white. Yeah.
Yeah, like this shit.
That one is that's a fake,
That's what
but
it means.
There's ones that kind of look like it, but they're not pink, and their face isn't that fucked up.
that one's
If
the
I
goblin
saw
shark.
something
Yeah.
that looked like that, I'd be scared.
I think-
That is based off of a real shark.
Yeah.
Now that is a fake one, but that is called a goblin
Yeah.
shark. Goblin sharks are fucking nasty.
Hey, look, a squirrel spider. That's a toad mixed with something else,
Yeah.
like a leatherback
Like a
turtle.
rat. Looks like a rat almost. Yeah. Man, I was
What
looking
the
for
fuck?
crazy legit animals, not weird ass fake ones.
Oh, there's some
I
real
guess-
Oh
ones in
shit!
there.
I almost remember what they're tardigrade. That's what they're called, I think. The
Oh,
what do you
chimpanzees
think
are
would
fuck-
win?
depends.
The
It
gorilla.
depends. It depends.
Gorilla.
Gorillas are smarter, but bears are way bigger.
It really depends.
Okay, it doesn't matter because the gorilla's muscle to mass, like strength wise, much.
Yeah, but same thing with a bear.
Okay,
And bear has more weapons. They have claws and teeth. Their claws can literally tear up flesh. Like
yeah, but I mean, a
that.
chimpanzee can basically rip apart a human.
Okay, you're talking gorilla, not chimpanzee.
Yeah, but
This is-
gorillas are stronger than chimpanzees.
Oh, easily.
I mean, they're strong,
They're
but
like
again,
bodybuilders time 5.
I think it really
Times
depends.
5.
It depends on where they're at.
This is The Rock on steroids.
Yeah, but you're talking about bears. Bears are fucking strong and they're huge. They're
Yeah.
heavy
Look how big
too.
this guy is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fluffy.
Well,
They're
that's
cute.
also Photoshop. Bears
they
not
also
that tall.
added in a gorilla image. They're probably
Yeah.
about the same size, to be honest.
Bears are still
Dude,
a
I
little
would
bit bigger.
love
The
to see
biggest
this
bear.
fight.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
That's way
real.
too
It's
long.
not real.
Yeah.
Most
Man,
aggressive animals. The
that'd be
hippo.
so cool.
The
I used
hippo is
to
the most
watch-
aggressive animal.
I used to watch
Except for
videos of
I think it
animals
has
honey
one of the-
badgers. Honey
that-
badgers
yeah.
are the most aggressive.
and they're basically indestructible too.
honey badgers? Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah. Honey
Damn.
badgers. Yeah.
That's not real.
No.
I wish
Hippos
it
aren't
was.
that big,
Yeah,
and
you're
the
right.
shadow on the
The
fucking
lion is
lion
so
is
small.
way off.
And you could
tell
also
with
see
the
the
lighting.
cut lines. Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't do a very good job.
Photoshop.
Now, a hippo would fuck up a lion.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
but
So-
not that small lion.
A lion would just run away. Hippos aren't that fast.
Yeah,
They're
lions are
fast,
hippos.
but they're not that fast.
They could run like 30 something miles an hour.
Yeah, but they
on
don't
land.
tend to unless necessary. Is there another question
Oh,
you had? about
basically a
spiritual
hippo
animals?
is
Not bio.
a whale that can walk on water or walk on land.
A whale?
Yep.
Yeah, but the
They're-
temperament's not the same.
They have the oh, what was it?
Do male whales fight for mate? Because male hippos do, and male
Okay,
hippos
but I'm
will-
saying
male hippos are more
they're,
like male lions.
their DNA is the closest I believe it was to a
I mean, they're both mammals and they're both aquatic, so that makes sense.
yeah. They did like the DNA to them, and they were like, these are the closest two known relatives. Whatever. But anyways, what were you?
Yeah. Next question: if you were wealthy and never had to worry about money ever again, where would you move to and why? Also, would you
Texas.
buy?
Yep.
Yeah. Would you buy expensive stuff or stay casual?
Stay casual.
Texas.
Some expensive
house
things.
probably expensive, but everything else I don't see any
I
reason.
would probably
cars. I like cars.
Yeah.
Okay,
Would
I'd
you
buy
get
expensive
Would
cars.
you get like a dune buggy? Would you get all this?
I would only limit
fun
myself
stuff?
to 3 cars at a time, though, because I don't understand anyone that has more than that. Because you're
Yeah.
never
Unless you're
actually
collecting.
Okay.
because unless you're holding it as like a trophy, a prize, like you're never gonna run it, you're never gonna use it, then sure. But that just to me, it's like I want to drive my cars, and if I have more than 3, I can't drive them
It's
all.
like buying 30 pairs of shoes.
And I do the maintenance on all my cars. I'm not gonna do it on 20.
Now, I
Look at how
agree with the
healthy
cars.
you all be.
Motorcycles, I would have one for every fucking day.
Nope. I don't like motorcycles.
I respect
Yeah.
that.
They scare
They
me.
make me sad.
They scare me. I had 2 friends that almost died. You one of them, bitch.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
was the other? Oh,
Jake.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah. If you
He was a lot closer than you were. Like, he should have fucking died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was going faster too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going 80.
Well,
but
yeah,
he
as
didn't,
far-
he didn't hit a blunt.
And as far as I've
object.
heard, he
got
was
ejected.
dead.
That's true.
Yeah.
He was
You
dead.
got
Basically.
ejected too. So
Yeah.
technically
Well, I hit an object.
Yeah.
Therefore, he
made you lose your
got
nose.
ejected.
He slowed
because-
down over a longer period of time, whereas he slowed down at a very fast rate.
period.
So their
Yeah.
acceleration, it was about the same, or
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
deceleration.
kind of surprised your spine didn't get any damage at all.
I have some in my.
because-
I have some in my neck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because there's.
My imagination is you got slammed right in the nuts.
I
It
forgot.
feels like you get stretched out a little
No,
bit
because
from
with my neck,
No, because your legs would.
my chiropractor said that I have a very high chance of going paraplegic or dying if I get into a bad accident again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What, I can't
From a
use my
base-
legs? Bummer.
Become a
I'll just
fucking
walk with my
turd.
dick.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I would be from the neck down, most likely.
Paraplegic's not that. That's quadriplegic.
Okay, then I'd be caught
Quadriplegic.
God,
that
that'd be
word.
horrible. That'd be horrible.
So yeah, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But at least I can use my words, and I would be the most.
Hi, my name
You'd be
is
so
Stephen
bored.
Hawking.
Dude. Oh yeah, I would be bored, but all I could ever do is roast people. Like that's.
My
I
name
don't even
is
know what I would
Stephen Hawking. That's who you'd be.
Yeah.
Except you wouldn't have like all of his
Yeah.
smarts. So.
I'd
Yeah,
probably
true.
just watch TV all day. For like whenever.
Oh no, that's not in existence at all. Fuck
Well,
that.
You can't do anything. You can't move your arms.
I'd rather at least wheel outside and just kind of look around a little bit. I wouldn't be
Enjoy
like,
the outside too. Whenever I'm stuck
I'm
at
just-
home,
I would-
that's all you could.
See, I would just find some stairs and finish the job.
yeah. Your mom is just no.
Not again.
He's always trying to kill himself. You know, one of these days I'm gonna let you.
Please let me die, please.
That's good.
Take me now.
If you were Elon Musk, would you carry on his legacy and work 80 to 120 hours a week, or use the money to do something else?
Use the money to do something else.
And what would that be?
Fuck bitches.
All right.
So you wouldn't actually
Start-
get anything done.
Start Playboy back up again. I'm just kidding. I'm
I'll
just
Playboy.
kidding.
I don't have like anything that I'd probably use with the money, and I don't see why working
Honestly.
the amount that he works is necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
So-
just enjoy life at that point.
I just take
So
the
basically
money.
you'd retire.
I'd
right
probably
away.
find some way
Yeah,
to
like-
have benefit for everyone else
Exactly.
because I have so much money. It's like, okay, if I only had $1 billion, I'd live for the rest of my life comfortable. It's like, okay, then I don't need the rest.
Comfortable,
Yeah.
dude. You could live off of life just
Anything.
with
Yeah.
a few million.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like I want cars and I want a nice house. Now it'd only be like a mil tops. I don't want like
Oh,
a
God.
multi-million-dollar
You want a
house. It's
where you
ridiculous.
can't clean it up
I think a
yourself.
mil.
Well, a mill in California is different than a mill in Texas. That's just to say
A
that.
million in Texas.
A
is-
million in California is this fucking room. It's like a
Basically.
what, 100, maybe 700 square feet,
Yeah.
maybe.
Enough for a bed and then maybe a shelf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a studio apartment.
Yeah. So this kind of leads to my next question. Would you rather retire in 10 years or retire when you're 65?
I'd rather
10.
retire later
Even
Really?
if you're Elon Musk?
because people who retire or never retire live longer.
Now, what if you retired and volunteered to keep you busy, like if you were working still?
I'd work like a part-time
Then,
job.
yeah, you would want to do that because
I'd rather volunteer. That's what I would do.
death rates after retirement, like retiring is one of the strongest correlations to someone's death
Yeah.
when they die. Of course, taking out like car accidents or like
Yeah.
externalities that are out of the control, but
It declines their brain.
after someone die or after someone retires, especially guys, it's really bad. After they retire, their mental deterioration is accelerated tenfold. Yeah. And what's actually interesting is if they start to, this is going to sound wrong, if they start to do more activities with their grandchildren and start to play with them a little bit more, sounds wrong, sorry, they can actually reverse much of the beginning of dementia because they're basically rewiring their brain again to
like what they learned 40 years ago.
And that's why it's important to have kids so that whenever you get old enough, you can play with grandkids and So I would probably wait to retire later.
Well,
and if I'm going to retire in 10 years, like I have enough money to, then I would still try to find something to do.
Yeah. I wonder if our
learn something.
I haven't noticed Grandpa with any Grandpa Stowers. I haven't noticed him with any mental problems lately because they've been taking care of Christopher.
He's
also great with like younger kids too. So I think
you didn't used to be, my God. He used to drink alcohol a lot. That was his problem.
Now that he doesn't,
he's
definitely not.
I can't remember how many times he's beat my ass.
About 4 months ago, I only noticed maybe one time where he had some mental problem, but I think he's just wandering around because he's Grandpa.
Yeah. So, I would either wait to retire as late as possible. Like, okay, let's say I have the means, but I'm just working a job because it's like a little bit more of extra money kind of thing, but it's keeping my mind busy, then I'd do that rather
then you could use that money for whatever you fucking want.
Now, I'd retire in 10 years, travel the world, get a job again.
I wouldn't want to be tied down to something, so that's why I would volunteer. Now, you are kind of tied down to something while you're volunteering, but you could have the choice to do it or not.
Same thing with a job. If you're ultra rich and you're able to retire, you're like, I don't give a shit. I'll quit. I'll quit tomorrow. You need me, bitch. I don't need you.
Yeah.
The roles reversed, bitch.
When you're volunteering, you could pick your schedule a lot easier than if you're not. Because your schedule,
like I said, if you have the means to where you don't really have to work, but you're still dependable, they can't make like, well, you have to work. It's like, no, I don't, because I don't have to work for you. Yeah. And I put in so much, like with my job, I'm the fastest worker at the store. It's like,
I don't know about that.
I'm the fastest worker at the store. You're the only one that speeds 15 miles an hour over, and that's the only reason you're faster than me.
I thought you were talking about insiding, like closing stuff.
Both.
Okay.
Both. I'm the fastest.
I just asked Caitlin.
I'm fastest on dishes, and I'm also fastest on front because you don't shut up.
I disagree.
Nope. Fastest on both. You might have it when it comes to the front. Might have it.
I get out of there every time before 1:30.
Yeah. I have a different means of doing it, but I'm still out of there so fast. When it's dishes, I'm the fastest on dishes.
You're fastest because you don't clean it very well.
What?
You go through real quick and you leave food.
It's still clean.
Yeah, but you leave food in chunks in there. I don't do that shit.
What? I don't leave that much shit in there.
Yeah.
And it's only the cheese bins because you could spend 10 minutes on it, dry it. Oh shit, there's still a piece of cheese. Let me go back. It's like some of it. It's like you can't fully clean it because
we need to time ourselves one of these times.
I'm the fastest dishwasher there at the store, which means something because
like a great wife.
Yeah, thank you. I'm the fastest box folder in the store.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
Bar none.
Yeah,
fastest.
That's easily.
Probably not the fastest on ovens, but there is no way to be fastest on ovens. What?
Overall, I think I've closed more than you.
Yeah, but I'm still faster. That doesn't mean anything. But anyway, all I'm saying is, if you prove yourself in a job and you're actually like dependable and reliable, and you mean a lot to the business, you have the bargaining chip. If you don't have to work, if you don't have to work there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's like you need me more than I need you. So if you want me to still work here, I'm still going to be fair to you. I'm going to tell you when I'm going to go out of town, but I'm going out of town, and you're not going to tell me no. Yeah. So.
Yeah, any place that says I can't go out of town because I have to work, I'm not.
Bummer. Unless I guess I'm not working indefinitely.
Yeah. Unless I'm getting paid really, really well, I won't.
No, it's not worth it.
Even if I was getting, like,
for any business to have that decision above you on your life, it's not worth it.
It depends on how often they do
it. If it's a year and you're getting paid $1 million a month, then okay, fine. I guess you can suck the dick. But for a year,
I have a question now.
A question? What is the threshold of money in which someone would have to pay me to suck a dick?
Yeah.
Is that what you're? Yeah. How much money?
None.
No, because I'd have to live for it for the rest of my life. I don't think I'd do it.
No?
Because I wouldn't feel like I earned it, you know? I'd be the world's worst blowjobber, and I'd be paid the most. Like, it wouldn't feel right. Yeah.
I like that's not what you... That's
you know?
Think.
Like, think about it. You'd be the world's most expensive blowjobber. and it'd be your first time, teeth and all.
Hey, man. See that? Then that's good because they're not enjoying it, and I know they're not enjoying it. So,
Okay,
and I'm not enjoying it. So it's like,
here's my other thing. What's the duration of the blowjob? Do I have to go until climax? Because that could take a long time. That could take a long time, or is it just like one in, one done, and then you're good? Because that.
What if it didn't take a long time?
I'm not gonna have a guy come in my mouth. I will not accept a single dollar for that shit. No.
but if it was just a sucky suck,
Just
but
just
no
Like
explosion.
A binky, like a giant ass binky.
Yeah.
still no.
No?
No.
Would you?
Oh no.
No.
No?
No.
No. I'll
No.
retire just fine. I'm investing.
Because then you go up to heaven and God's like,
Oh, I'm disappointed.
yeah, you did
God
it
will just
for
give you-
money
Yeah.
and you didn't do it for me.
But that's when you're like, I can do it for you.
Yeah.
I'm here now.
Yeah. I can do it.
Oh my God! Literally. God, you're gonna need to give me a bigger mouth. I kissed it.
Oh, man.
Suck this dick for eternal life. Well, I already did it for a mill, so.
I'll probably do it. Not gonna lie.
For eternal life?
No. Well, yeah. But,
Yeah.
But for it would be
Some
an
weird shit,
extreme
though.
amount of money.
It would be a lot. It'd be enough money to where you could pay off everyone to never acknowledge it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be enough money to where you could spend the money on chemicals that can make you forget.
Basically, yeah.
So,
or you'd have to have enough money beforehand to basically make them think it's you, but it's not you. It's just some homeless guy, and you can still get the money.
I'll have a child.
No, clone myself. I'll clone myself.
Nah, see, I'll have a child and then blame it on my child.
Yeah.
Make sure he looks just like me, grows out the hair, everything.
Yeah.
No, it's
Like,
him. He did it. He did it. He sucked the dick. I took his money, but he sucked the dick.
I mean, the parents, so I mean.
but my child's gay.
Did you have any other questions that were not related to
That
blowjobs?
was me.
Yes,
That was
I
my
do.
question.
I know. I was
Yeah, I got it.
asking.
Yes. Do you have any creepy in real life ghost stories, or do you know of someone who has?
Yes, I do. And I've known someone that has.
Alright,
Creepy-
Share both of them if you want.
Creepy stories.
I know Ashley.
Time
Had
for a
some.
story. It's time for a story.
Didn't Ashley kind of have
Come
one?
on now, listen out.
I know
be
he
a
never had
change.
any situation. I would love, even though it's creepy, but I would love to
I
be
still
in a
don't believe in
situation
ghosts.
where-
I believe in evil spirits. I don't believe in
Yeah.
ghosts.
Okay, so
Demons.
demons, I guess.
Yeah.
To add that to the question.
I think it's more dark because
Yeah.
it's like a way. It's a more powerful way for Satan to play on your emotions.
Yeah.
So, and to be honest, I don't think that ghosts exist, and I think that the majority of the times in which people think that they see or hear or feel ghosts is actually a phenomenon called,
Well, it's like believing you're sick and you become sick. because
what are
you
they
are.
called? Very low frequency, below what humans can hear, sound. For some reason, we don't hear it, but we can still feel it. So whenever there's a super low frequency, we're on edge. So that immediately makes us start to map out things of what's going on. Your mind already starts to race as to what could be there because the low frequency is right there. You don't hear it, but it's still there. And I think they've done tests to prove it. They basically had, a control group, and they had people who neither of them knew if whether or not there was going to be the low frequency sound. They played it, and in the group that they were doing like a quiz or something, so they didn't know what was actually going on. They just thought it was a quiz. So they do the quiz, and whenever they played the low frequency sound, the people in that test group, I believe,
Reacted.
I don't know if this is how they did it, but I know that they've done experiments like this. They basically said, I don't know, but for some reason I felt like something was wrong. Like either with the test or with the other people around me, I didn't feel right. It felt uneasy. And I think that they've proved that as long as you play a low frequency sound, people don't hear it, but they feel it.
So how are
And they've-
haunted places?
They've gone to these haunted places and they've
Yeah.
actually recorded those sounds.
So how are they getting those sounds though? Is it from the
Sound is
building?
produced. Sound is energy and is
I think you
produced
could also
whenever.
feel energy as well.
Yeah, true. But sound. Okay. For example, the energy that I am dispersing into this wall is not 100%. Some of it is coming back to you in sound.
Yeah.
because now I woke up my wife probably, but not all of it was dispersed into the wall.
Yeah.
If it was, you wouldn't hear anything. The other radiating type of energy is light and heat. So fire. The only reason you see a flame is because there's so much energy that some of it is being changed into light, because not all of it can be heat. Yeah. So there's different forms of energy, and anytime there's just too much energy and you hear it, yeah.
I still want us to go on a ghost adventure one of these times. I want to go to one of the most haunted.
Don't get me wrong, you're gonna get the same experience. It's still gonna feel like.
But I want to buy more expensive equipment and go for.
But also, like, like when you're, let's say you put in yourself, like I've done it many times, and I love doing it. It's midnight or sunrise hike. So you start at like 12 a.m. and get to your destination at sunrise.
Okay, yeah, your mind's gonna play with you because it's dark.
Exactly.
That's why most ghost sightings don't happen during the day, and even if something happens during the day, it's not nearly as powerful because your mind can't play tricks on yourself.
That's
because
more
you can
what
see
That's
everything.
what I was trying to relay into it. Even though there was one instance I had to call my buddy Seth to come over because it was such I was almost in tears because of the way I was feeling. Mm-hmm. And this was broad daylight too. Like I normally have only ever gotten those at nighttime, and it's not because I see something. I'm like, I'll be perfectly fine. I'll walk into a room, then I won't feel good. I'm like, oh, like that feeling someone's like in the room with you, like watching you, like that. And it was just like that overwhelming, like almost sick feeling.
Yeah.
But this day that I had him come over, I was sitting in my room because for whatever reason, I woke up and immediately just didn't feel right. I was like, something seemed weird. And I was like, okay, what's going on? So oh
God. Oh, good.
No, I was just like, something doesn't seem, I didn't have that.
I knew that gay dream was a bit too much.
No, but I walked down the stairs and then all of a sudden it hit me hard. And I'm like, oh. I don't I almost felt ill. I've almost taken ill, but it wasn't I feel like I'm gonna vomit. It felt like all of my energy depleted. Something was not right in my area.
So you had vertigo? No,
not even that.
Oh.
It was when you have such a clarity from, let's say, God or something, it's those spiritual moments.
Yeah.
It was like that in reverse. So a spiritual attack, I guess.
Okay.
It was borderline that. I've had spiritual attacks, which I know what they feel like. It had the similarities, but it was different.
Yeah.
So I was almost in tears because I couldn't, and everywhere I go, no matter if I went into the bathroom and locked myself in there, I'd still feel some areas of the house, I'd feel better. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes or a few minutes later, I'd feel the same, it was almost following me.
To be honest, it could also be a minor seizure too. Some minor seizures do that.
Do the energy wavelength thingamajigs affect your body too?
Energy wavelengths?
The whatever you were talking about earlier, the wavelength, the sound waves or whatever.
You don't physically hear them, but you would probably feel them.
Feel ill from them?
I'm gonna.
And you wouldn't feel it with low bass. You don't feel the vibration. But I'm pretty sure humans are still able to feel it, but it's not well known because we can't hear it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring this back to the original question that Justin
because
said.
Typically low frequencies like that indicate that there's a predator lurking around and they're being very quiet, but they're not super quiet. So our ears are still in tune to that. We're something's watching us. What the fuck is going on? Yeah. Because we can still hear them even though they're being really quiet. That's basically what our brain's doing. Is it's low enough that we can't hear it, but we still understand there's something fucky going on. And what I've also noticed is
Sixth Sense.
With my ears, I'll know if something's behind me based off of my hearing. If something goes behind me, I can hear the differences in volume. I can hear something is bouncing off of something. So I'll turn around and I'll see someone behind me.
I'm usually pretty aware of what's around me too, but when my ears are all stuffed up, it's someone will say Justin, I'll be like, where are you?
And that's also the same thing with predator. You'll know a predator is around because the sound is bouncing off just a little bit differently than it was before, and as they get closer and closer, that's becoming more and more apparent.
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, so This wouldn't be the biggest. This was just a weird phenomenon that I can't even explain. But I was with multiple people, and we were going through the abandoned brewery.
Oh yeah,
and this was awesome. Like
Is that Tacoma or something?
No, it was in Tumwater.
How far is that? Is it pretty far?
Tumwater is Olympia, south of Olympia.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I've been to a church there.
Let's go there again.
I don't know if it's still because the last
abandoned.
time that I drove by, it looked like they started to demolish it, but they stopped.
Probably because some weird shit happened.
Well,
Not
there's
necessarily.
been
They just
number
didn't have
of
the permits or something.
well, there's also a number of deaths that's happened there because people go in there, get lost, or even because
that big?
it's a very confusing place.
Ooh, okay.
You can still find your way.
you
out
can
of
still
any
find your
building
way,
unless you're
but I'm-
freaking the fuck
yeah.
out.
And also, you have homeless. You'll
That's true.
there. I mean, you can run into anybody in there. So there's dangers, and then people go there to kill themselves too because it's
Okay.
so secluded, and then no one goes into it except for
Homeless and crazies.
I guess if you want to call us. But anyways, okay, I'll explain two of the stories that happened here, two separate times too, different locations. But we were on the roof. So this was it's about a 7-story building, roughly.
Okay.
We were on the roof, and this door to get out there is about that thick, and it took all of us to move it to get it open.
Because it must have been a safe or something.
No, it was like that, but it was to the out, like on the top of the building door.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it was
It's
probably
to keep all
steel.
those workers from
It was
killing themselves.
It was probably a steel door, to be honest.
That's probably steel with concrete because
Yeah.
that much steel would be expensive.
Dude, there was 4 of us, and it took all 4 of us to move it.
It could be rusted. hinges,
About
too.
we opened it about that much because we didn't want the chance of whatever.
Did you notice the hinges rusted at all?
No, it was broken.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But anyways, we went out. There was like all these cool things. We were climbing all over the roof.
Stepped on a
and then-
couple needles and I was
No.
tripping.
No, so we were so this was before we started because we just chalked it up to, something weird happened. But like we walked
Must've
away
been the
a little
wind.
bit. We were just kind of being like, oh wow, there was no wind, nothing.
No, that was joking.
But that door slammed shut. There was no one in the door because we were facing that way. And we saw it happen, and there was no wind.
That's what I want to do. this
It's
shit.
still theoretically possible.
It's still,
Yeah.
you're
The windows
right.
are open,
But
yes, but
I'm
if they're
talking,
shut and
this
there's no
door
air-
had drag too because it dragged along
and
the
it
ground.
could sound like, did anyone see it?
Yeah, we saw the
Did
door
you get a
shut.
video?
You saw
you
it
videotape
start
it?
to finish shut, or did you just look when
just-
it shut?
No, like me and my buddy were standing, we were talking, and then it started to move, and then I stopped. I was like, bro, the door's moving. And then all of a sudden, boom, it just slammed.
Okay,
Damn.
because that heavy of a door, if you weren't looking, it could have sounded like it slammed really hard, but it's so heavy, it just like
No, it moved quick.
okay.
And we were all just like
That's
standing there.
sketchy.
We did not even go towards it. Like we stayed on the roof for a while because we're like, and also we were kind of concerned too because we were like, are we locked down now?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we weren't. We weren't. But
But then you just
there
hey,
were.
yeah. Yeah, you know, bitch. I know you're scared, but you're gonna have to come up 7 flights of stairs. Yes, and you're gonna have to push on this really heavy door. Yeah, I know you're scared, but we're stuck. All of us are fine, except one of us is dead, but it'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
But anyways, it was.
You need to help me.
But it was for our own brains that like it was
Yeah.
like, oh, something just we can't explain happened.
Yeah.
We're fine.
Technically possible.
Yeah,
Were
but
you guys videotaping or GoPro
No,
or anything?
no.
Oh, man, that's so good.
we
That's what I
can't-
wanna
If
do.
you
We
if
did
you
that
took
later
pictures
on.
of the door, that would help me out a lot. If you took pictures of the door,
okay, so the door
because
was.
at least
I can
that could
explain it
Okay.
because I have
Good
It was
visual.
probably about up to there,
What was
Okay.
the building
Yeah, that makes
called?
sense.
about that high, and the door was probably about arm's length long.
Okay. And it was just one door
And then-
hinge. It wasn't
Yeah,
two.
it was just one,
Just one. Okay.
and then it was about that thick.
Okay. That doesn't mean it's like filled, but yeah.
I mean, this
Do you
month
know what this building was called at all by chance?
it was just
How
the
your
brewery.
mic censored you. This mother.
It was just the brewery in
Oh.
Tumwater. Just look up abandoned,
Brewery.
Tumwater Brewery decommissioned or whatever.
Abandoned. Let's see if I can find it. Was that your
Old Olympia
No.
Brewery is not it. No, that's
no,
in Olympia.
It's in Tumwater.
Haunted.
This one?
No, that one.
Yeah, that looks more like a brewery.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
you might be able to see
long
the door.
end. That's the long end.
Is this the
This
door where
is
you
not.
see?
This is a part of it. Go to. Okay. Yep. That's it. Yep. So we were on the building.
It looks like a hospital almost.
It's that big and it's all connected.
Yeah, and hospitals are.
And then on the other side of the
Zoom in on the
freeway,
image.
on the other side of the
Enhance.
freeway,
Oh, yeah.
No. Well, you could do it a different way too. You just right click on the image, then go to right click, and then go to open image in new tab,
oh, this is cool that you can just look it up.
and then there you go.
Okay,
Boom.
so
I think I see where you guys were probably
Yep,
at.
that
Bottom
door.
left.
That door right there?
Bottom
That
left?
Pointing at?
bottom left.
Oh, is it that door that he's pointing
okay,
at?
no, okay, so go down that building, go
Yeah,
up
I see
all
the
the way
door.
up.
Oh, this one?
No, the door is hidden.
Oh,
It's okay.
right
Go
here.
to the left. It's right in there.
Oh, it's on the other side.
Yeah, it's
Oh, we
on
need
the.
to get another
It's
picture then.
How dark was it at that point?
it was probably about 2 a.m.
Okay.
Yeah,
It'd still be bright enough because it's in a populous area.
and there's an underground portion of this.
Yeah,
They
I've
have
been
a-
to a prison that was like that. Going
have-
underground
yeah.
when it's pitch black. Whoo!
Yeah.
I don't believe in ghosts, but man, that
Okay,
stuff
but
creeps
now
me the
it's
fuck out.
bringing me back to my
Porn.
other story. So we were in the basement.
Justin, try to find an image where you can see the door.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to.
we
Just
were
maybe even do rooftop images of
yeah.
yeah,
and
I
see
could do that.
see if
No,
that.
that's it, and it's a super cool place to go through.
Yeah,
Like we
that
have
is
even gone
huge.
through it.
It looks like
all of
homeless
it.
would be there. To be
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
There's not that much there. Like
Really?
we never saw anybody. We
Probably
saw
because
evidence.
they're not even that crazy.
Yeah, it's a very creepy place.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, because it's abandoned.
Yeah.
That's normal.
but anyways, so we were in the basement of this. I mean, this thing is huge and it has tunnels,
Yeah.
which is the creepiest part about it. But
That's where you get
we,
lost.
We walked into this huge room, and I walk into it. We were just having fun. Like there was nothing that gave me the sense. No talk about presence or anything. I walked in this room, got immediately sick feeling.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I walked out, and then I felt fine. I walked back in, and then I almost felt like that it was the same way, but I just wanted to cry from then on.
I believe
Like,
that's
I was
just it's those low frequency waves, but it's higher intensity, more of them. I think is what causes that.
It's
for the most part.
what's irritating because I was the only one that felt like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it affects people differently.
Yeah,
Is it that right there?
Yeah, enhance.
it's in the.
It's very blurry because it's a small.
I'm trying to think because I'm trying to remember it from.
You could also look up rooftop access pictures because sometimes maybe someone
just
took a
not a lot
picture
of
while they're
images.
up there, but
There's just not a lot of images in general of this.
true
place.
because
Yeah.
it's boring when you look at it
this
from the
it?
outside. No, that's not it.
It's not.
It's.
I've been in a building like that though.
Well,
They're
I
just
could
as
put
creepy.
Washington.
Yeah.
I didn't think to put Washington because there might be other ones.
No, it's a huge building.
Okay, that didn't help. Well,
It's a huge
That's the
building,
same
dude.
one.
Yeah, it is. It's the same one.
You can even go like rooftop access door.
Yeah, that's so specific.
I know, but sometimes you need to do that. Google,
Yeah.
for some reason, it needs a little bit more specificity when it comes to your search.
Yeah. It's usually better to keep it just that to find the most images possible.
I don't,
Olympia.
to kind of talk while you're doing this, I have never had an experience in which I felt like there was another presence that could not be explained. Whenever I was
that's a separate part of the building.
when I was a kid though,
That's down across the train tracks, and that's on the other side of the freeway.
this is gonna make me sound kind of crazy, but when I was a kid,
here we go.
whenever I was like 6 or 7 years old,
That's not it.
actually I think I was 5 or 6, I would sometimes sleep in the
No,
the
it's not.
living room, and I would look around at the pictures of my family, and it almost looked like they're talking to me, kind of thing. It was the weirdest fucking thing. I think it was my mind playing tricks on me because it
Yeah.
was dark enough. It just kind of seemed like the pattern was moving,
Mm-hmm.
and it could also mean that I'd have psychosis, but you know.
But there was a
No
time
ghost stories,
where
though.
me and my ex, and this was
We're fisting the fuck out of each other.
Oh, for sure. But
Oh, here.
I saw. Me and her both saw at the same time.
Oh,
the
yeah,
same
Meridian.
thing. Yep.
Yeah.
That was the craziest thing I've ever seen with my own eyes. That would make me believe that ghosts are real, and it still doesn't make me believe that ghosts are real.
Yeah.
Like, even though that there's like
There's more of a
kinda-
chance that aliens exist than ghosts are real, you know?
Yeah.
The only argument you can make for ghosts
That's not it.
existing is... Yeah, it's right there.
Is that it?
The only argument you can make
Yeah,
for...
that's it.
for
Oh, that's when it was. Oh
Still
my
operating.
god! That's
Yeah.
when it was up and running.
that wasn't that long ago.
Holy
That
must have been like
shit.
early
Why is it
2000s.
going the opposite?
Okay, that grass that you see.
It's because it's within a certain
Oh, that's
parameter.
stupid.
Okay, that grass that you see. That
That's better.
is probably
Grass.
about as tall as you.
The grass?
Yeah. That green luscious grass that you see there, that's about as
Oh, right now?
yeah, that's about
Wow.
as tall as you now. Because we got
Crazy.
chased by security one of the times,
Oh, no.
and we ran and we had to slide down that
Damn.
part. It was either
Visitors welcome.
Is that still on there?
I don't know,
It might have like the fade. Like,
but you have to be really careful walking.
Is that it?
In that building to the
No.
right? No, walking to the right in that area in that section of the building. No, go down to the glass windows. You have to be really careful with walking in there because there's holes in the ground.
okay,
Like
yeah, that
in the
makes sense.
floor.
Yeah.
But they were there for some reason, but they took it out. So you have to be.
It's probably for the tanks. The
Yeah.
pipes go up onto the second
the
floor.
a lot of the tanks are still there, so
Yeah.
you can you could crawl inside one of the places where they kept the brewery, which is really cool. It's all emptied out, but you could. It's sizable for. You would have to be the size to go in there, but I could fit. It would be a struggle, but I could fit. Now, no offense, but you guys couldn't.
So,
But
where would the door be from this viewpoint, do you know?
It's right behind the smoke. You see the smoke
Yep.
just
Oh
below
my
it.
right.
God,
Yeah.
It's like it's
You have a
trying to
better-
hide
yeah.
it. It's like they're trying to hide
and
it.
we got up on every single roof there because
I
there
know
was an
there's a
access
bunch of
point
images.
on
It's just-
every single point.
They're not all rooftop.
The side that
That's
they
the
take a
same
picture
one
of
I
that the
saw.
door would be, they're doing it from the ground so you can't see the fucking roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No,
No,
that's
that
not the
one
right
wouldn't.
side. It's on the other side, and I see why they didn't. Yeah, it would be tough. You'd have to.
But anyways, that door's up there,
Okay.
and
I'd have to see that door for
Yeah.
myself.
I mean, if
Are
you
we
could-
going next Saturday? No.
I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah. We
They-
do that.
So
They
take
did-
pictures for me.
They did.
We need to make sure we're
they did
invited
up the
for it.
security on it.
Okay.
So, because they had so
Problems.
many people coming in, we were
It's
there
because of
towards.
COVID, right?
No, we were there towards the end of when it started getting strict, or right at the beginning where they got really strict. But you're still able to get in, but you have to be really sneaky. So,
So not me.
Yeah, we're loud.
but it's really cool place. Yeah, there's some parts. Okay, so that building where it says Olympia Brewery Company, that big,
There's two.
the blue.
Yeah.
Okay, that left building, that side, there's someone living in there. So we did not go to that one because there's a little, you'll see in where it separates buildings, there's
Yeah.
that right there.
Yeah, there's one
That's
again.
in there, and then there was someone in there living in it. So we didn't go there because we heard someone in there doing stuff, and then there's a light. Then there's a light in there. So we were like, yeah, no, fuck that. Even though I was
If
trapping.
they're speaking Latin. No! Demons!
But no, it's a really
And then you start
cool
speaking
thing.
Latin, but for Jesus.
Yeah.
There's no Wikipedia.
Why?
I don't know.
No,
I'm just trying to
that's
see if there's images.
that's stupid.
That's the other part. Okay, yeah, that is. But there's some really cool places.
1896.
Maybe
That's how old this building is.
maybe I'll have my wife tell it because she could probably tell it better than me. But hers was more of a demonic presence than it was a ghost presence. And it first started out as being like her grandmother, but it immediately started to become a little bit darker From what I remember, it would move not the blinds themselves, but the curtains around the blinds. It would start to move it, but not enough to where it's like you obviously can tell it's moving, but it's enough where you're like, oh, I left the window open, then go check, and the window was closed. It's like, okay, what the fuck is going on? And then there was one time that they heard very clearly, everyone in the house at the time, which I think was my wife and her mom. They heard keys jingling at the door as if someone was opening the door. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh, I'm not going to say his name. My father-in-law, not at the time, is back, kind of thing. And no one enters the door, so they're kind of confused. So I think her mom called her dad, and he was like, no, I didn't go to the house. I'm not at the house. Like, and he was like, most of the time he'd joke around with some of that stuff, but he's like, this time I swear I didn't go to the house. Like, that wasn't me. And they're like, huh, that's strange. It sounded like that was you.
Right.
I can't remember what else. There's a couple other things. It was an old house too. It was right next to the hospital. Yeah. So
there's a few stories now that we're talking on this.
Wait, before, so this wasn't a ghost story, but I have to tell it. So my wife and I went to Montana for a trip, and one of the places we went to was the place where Ghost Adventures did. It was an old prison that's no longer a prison. It's more of it's a private museum actually, and we were just going around and from place to place, and then we went to the theater, which I think used to be the gym, where they have the what was it? It was where they tied the noose to kill one of the guards. So they made this basically, you know how in Hangman you make that? Like they made that, and I think they originally used it to hang most of the inmates. Yeah, that's the jail, the one with like the stone wall, like the rock wall. Yeah. And my wife, so they have that pardoned off because too many people were going up to the fucking noose thing, and they didn't feel like that was a good idea. So they blocked it off. And we're just looking in.
I'll have to tie the knot for myself.
We're just looking in, and we're both like feeling kind of uneasy about it. We're like, this is weird. And then just out of nowhere, I was like, what the fuck? Like really loud, like, oh my God, what the fuck was that? I've never heard a pigeon ever make that noise before, but they're just to the right, and they're all like behind the fucking door. We look in because we're like, what the fuck was that? And we're like, oh, it's birds. It sounded like someone moaning in pain kind of thing. It was like,
that's funny.
What the fuck was that?
Like 10 pigeons doing it all at the same time.
Yeah. But it was like, oh my, like it got you to like the fight or flight response because you're like, it sounds like someone's dying and you're like, there's no one there.
I forgot.
That wasn't there, by the way. that wasn't there.
So
like a rat.
there was, I forgot. It was one of my family members. Either my dad or my mom. I think it was my dad, but I don't know. We were home, and we were both in the family room, and the front door opened and shuts. Then you hear a run upstairs, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And then we like stand there, and then you hear like running down the stairs, but no one came down the stairs, and no one else was home. And we both we were just kind of like,
okay,
Simon.
Like that's what we originally thought it was Maggie.
Okay, yeah.
But then Maggie was
sitting right next to
in the living room by the.
It'd be weirder if she reacted to that.
I don't remember if she did or not.
That's crazy.
But it was weird. It was like.
Did both you and your dad go like, what was that?
Oh yeah, like my dad would like called my mom. My sister was with my mom.
What did he tell?
It's just future you that came back.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm gonna grab some things.
It was so weird. And then I've been home alone to where like, you know, I've heard like the, and then I'm like, okay, where's the animals? Then I see both the animals, and all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna die.
Me first, bitch.
The whole thing is your gun's upstairs.
Yeah.
They're
I'm gonna fight you, bitch. Where are you?
No, the creepiest things have not been ghost related at that house. Is like
It was a cyanide and happiness sketch. Yeah.
Now the creepiest things have been to where there's nothing that could be explained. Now where I actually saw someone in our backyard before, like staring at me when I was home alone, I started crying and I was on the phone with my mom and she's like, lock every door, and I was like, it's locked, and I was like, he went away, he climbed over the fence to, someone else. But I was like in tears because like the blinds were open, I was watching TV, and like I got up and then like all of a sudden like there's a guy just standing outside like in our backyard.
Yeah,
I was just like
creepy. Now today it's like,
yeah, back then,
but
I mean,
still.
But I mean, I've been downstairs.
Wait! I need to grab all my guns. Just stay there for 1 second.
So did he go through your window?
He just went through the backyard.
Yeah, like the backyard.
Okay, I thought you were saying
No, so there was someone that tried to break into our house while I was downstairs.
I'm not trying to break in. I'm just I got some. I just threw something over the fence. I'm just coming to get it. Please don't shoot me. Don't shoot me, please. I'm okay. I'm leaving.
Sometimes with Domino's, that like whenever it's really dark and I like people. Don't
There
have
was
anything,
one time.
where you
I
feel
have a
like
story
they don't
on
know you're
DoorDash.
There was one time I drove up to this house, and I've never had this feeling before. I've delivered for 4 years, probably hundreds, if not thousands of houses I've delivered to. There was this one house I've never delivered to before and never have since, but there was no lights, nothing. The smell wasn't like rotting flesh. It was kind of like
was it in Graham?
Spanaway,
And did you have okay?
Spanaway address.
Did you have to drive down a super long dirt road?
No. This one was in like
I thought we
I
went
know
to
what you're talking about though.
I told you that story,
go
right?
Down this way and all
No.
through the forest.
No.
Okay. Anyway, let me finish real quick.
For it.
And I have the food, and I have like this instinct, which is telling me, because normally I'll take the food, I'll open a gate, and I'll walk up to the door. In this case, something was telling me, don't fucking open the gate. For some reason, like I was looking through to see, because everything was pitch black. I couldn't really see through that much. There was like this awning and everything. I was looking through right where it's just dead darkness, and I was like, I don't like that. Something was keeping me from like opening the gate. Like something inside myself's like, don't you fucking dare, because whatever is beyond that gate, you don't want to figure it out. And there's also this.
Back to the store because of that, or?
No, I just set it on like one of the cars that was obviously associated with the house, but wasn't past the gate. I just set it on the car and I left because it was just a weird feeling. Like there was no one in the house, but for some reason we got an order kind of thing.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not doing this. Because it's pitch black. Anyone could be in that area. And I think that's what was really freaking me out. I'm like, anyone could be there and kill me and no one would know. Like that's how bad it was. So I was like, and normally, like I've delivered to houses where it was like that, pitch black, can't see, but I still do it because I don't get this weird. That day, it was awful, and I remember as I was setting the pizza down, I look over, and I get like this smell of something. It wasn't like rotting flesh. It was what's the best way of doing it? It's like someone had bought a full chicken, threw it out, and it's only been out there a couple days, kind of thing. It was like a little bit of a like mucky smell. I was like, yeah, nope, definitely not doing this shit. So I left. I was like
like
no.
a slaughter smell almost.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I've ever done it. Only time I've ever been like no. And I've actually had, back in the day, there was this like bigger than me coworker, both physically and height wise, and he was not comfortable with a certain address. So he came back. So I went out to deliver it to it. I had no problem with it. Yeah. He had heebie-jeebies about something, and I was like, no, I'm fine with this. This is fine. Like he didn't feel comfortable because it didn't feel right, but for me, I was like, no, this is fine. Even in those situations, I'm fine. But this one house in particular, I was like, hell no.
Yeah.
Not testing the alarm.
So I have a very similar story to yours, and I was door dashing.
It felt like a serial killer was living in the house, kind of thing. Yep. It was like, no.
Yeah.
And something tells me if there was one there, he's like,
damn it.
Like, oh, he must be smart enough, kind of thing. Like, oh, he knew. It's like, how did he know?
No, but I drove down this dirt road that went down for probably about a mile, and this is the only house in this area. Like, all of it is just woods, and I'm driving down this dirt road, and I'm like, okay. So, like, and it's like in some places it's like overgrown. And I'm like, who the fuck lives out here? Anyway, so like it was a pretty good order. So like I took it, and it was probably about 10 or 11, and I get there, and there's this house, black inside. The cars are overgrown. There's one car that's like, you could tell it runs, like it's their car, but like it's a fucking trash bin.
Yeah.
And like the grass is so tall and it's pitch black. There's no lights anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I look at it, I'm like, the only lights are my car.
Yeah.
And there's no television light. There's no anything. I'm texting the person, no response. And I'm like, and it also in the description, it says leave on the back porch. I'm like, no.
Hell no.
Yeah. So like I literally
you open the car door, fuck you, please.
I literally ran to their front door, dropped it, and then ran back to my car.
He's probably watching the window just laughing at you.
Yeah.
No, like I booked it, and I was like, I'm only gonna be out here for a certain amount of time. I'm giving myself like not even 20 seconds to be there and back to my car.
So funny if you had a camera watching the whole fucking
but
thing.
like I got the exact same feeling. I was like, I should just leave. I should just turn around and be like, just take the deduction and keep the food.
And I've had another order where I should have had that, and I had it a little bit where the guy was playing a prank on me, so it wasn't the same feeling. Oh, really? So it was like my third month. And on the, like, we get a delivery tag. Sometimes it'll say specific information. And he's like, yes, down the creepy gravel road kind of thing. Okay, fine. That's a good descriptor. So I go down the creepy gravel road, eventually find the house. I think it was a cash order or something. Yeah, it was a cash order. So I, go up to the front door and knock. He opens the door, and just a whole bunch of fog, a red light behind him. And this is like right after Halloween. And he's wearing like a Halloween mask. Can't see him, and I can't see him in the smoke because it's so thick, and all I see is a hand coming out of the fucking fog. I'm like, is that a gun?
Is that what he said?
No. I was like, oh shit, here I go. This is how I die. Fine. But no, it was the cash to pay for the order. So I what was worse is I go to grab it and I drop it. So now I have to lean down and grab it. And I'm like, I grab it, and as I hand him his food, I hear a girl giggling. I was like, oh, okay, this is a fucking prank. He's like, did I get you? I'm like, I mean, a little bit. Like, it was creepy, but it wasn't like,
It wasn't Halloween creepy.
But once they turn off the fog, they turn on all the lights. It's like, okay, yeah, this is normal.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get like, oh, I can't walk up to the house feeling before I even got up to the front door. It was
sure felt it after you opened that door.
I felt it a little bit because it was like, okay, this isn't normal, and some people are into some freaky shit. And I've had several customers like, oh no, it's fine to enter the house, and I'm like, hell no, it's not. The only exception I make is like, I had this like huge. They had a huge garage, kind of like a small airplane hangar kind of thing, and they're like, "Could you come